FSEX, the free speech experiment.
So this is FSEX 7, right? This is FSEX 7, and today we have low turnout, which allows us to discuss stuff that we want to discuss, and we generally don't have always the votes for it, so we can have more fun with it.
Today we get to decide what we are going to
Yes,
talk about.
I think so. So we'll get through on that. So that's, yeah. For those who don't yet know how we operate on FSEX, it's basically a format in which Sumit and I discuss things, and but we discuss things which are chosen on the spot here. So there is no, we have not rehearsed it and come in with any agenda. We just discuss them on the merit of what we know about it, what we feel about it. We are very happy to be corrected on the spot. We encourage people to do their fact checks right here. We show fact checks on the show, so not every detail we remember correctly, right? So that's one aspect of it. And we try to be irreverent also. So depending on it, we get serious. There is no fixed format to it, right? And there is no topic that is off-bound. Anything can be discussed.
Yeah.
Altogether. That's the whole point. To take freedom of speech one notch higher every time and to do it right. Okay, so
I think one extra thing that I think which is in that sense unique to what we do is that we don't claim to be experts, and the idea is not about being an expert. It's about being more informed than you were yesterday and be able to, as humbly as possible and as informed a way, be able to converse with each other and with whoever is in the audience. So
yeah, I think I
idea
actually
is to
forgot
learn.
that. Yeah, the idea is to also how to converse without getting completely lost in your own opinion, so that you can withstand somebody else's opinion. And how do you argue that? We're trying to show that you don't really argue with the person, you argue with his thoughts, and then in the end you don't make an enemy of the person, and you may be completely opposed to that person's thoughts, but that doesn't make you an enemy of the person. This key thing is getting lost a lot nowadays. Okay,
Very well put.
and also that it's also getting lost because what has happened in I think last 30 years is that people have forgotten what the purpose of debate and conversation is, which is that we should be able to change our positions. If we are not willing to change our positions ever, then if you have solidified everything beforehand, then why are we conversing? The whole point of conversing is to take a little bit from you and I become a different person. Every conversation is supposed to add to my personality, and I must be able to contribute something to your personality, your worldview. If that is not happening, even little bit of exchange is not happening, then it's very weird. If you like go for a dinner with someone and you eat only your food and he eats only his food, and it's not, you share a drink. They say sharing a drink, right? You don't really literally have to drink from somebody's glass, but if you're both drinking the same alcohol, that's sharing a drink, right? Previously, when smoking was great, people used to share a cigarette. There's some camaraderie to it.
Or lemonade.
Lemonade, yeah. So that camaraderie should be there in the conversation. That purpose of conversation is to bring something to the other person, right? It's not to only punch. Even if I'm being very animated, which I get, he's very measured, I am not. So I am aggressive about my thought. I'm not aggressive to bend you.
Correct.
To
There's
my
nothing
thoughts.
personal about
It's
it.
absolutely
And it should never
nothing
be.
personal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't mean to be at all. I'll attack your position as much as possible.
I can vouch for that because I think that, in fact, for me, I think that's, that's the reason I became part of this, is that here I could find somebody who was extremely opinionated, but he was opinionated because he had dedicated his life to being informed. So he had, and yet he was open to being challenged. He was open to a new perspective, and he was open to be, as he's saying, corrected, and he was open to making a change despite having spent so much time in that pursuit. Most other people would probably attach their personal likes and dislikes and therefore personal biases and prejudices to the information that they have collected and make it into I know this. But I never saw that coming from him, and I think that is something I respect, and that's something I
So
like
he has
to
it
do.
too. He has it too. in
I
a
like to
different
do
way.
it as well, and that's, I think that for me, I think if anything that we as two similar minded in that sense would like to encourage in anyone and everyone is that nature, that you're willing. Every conversation doesn't have to lead to a change, but the openness to change
Correct.
should be there. On that note,
Like consider the other point, truly consider the other point of view, right? As long as it is supported by a decent argument. It's not just I am saying so, A lot of times people are like that, like we get that. We have received that also here when somebody is just stuck on that, But socialism is better. So like, that's just stating something that doesn't really mean anything. Anyway,
which again is I mean, I think we are able to receive that and kind of take it for what it is. It's fine.
okay, so we'll
Any topics that y'all in the audience
yes.
might have that you
Yeah.
So recently there was some social media algorithm showed me a video of someone. There was a murder, and I was surprised because I don't know, I wouldn't have sought that out myself. So should that be made available or not? Shocking news. How graphic should it be? Like in a newspaper, they would refer to it, not give all the details. So I've never seen something like that in my life. This was the first time. And it was.
Well, I mean, you may have seen the Trump video last year. I mean, it's just that he survived.
Yeah.
So if he had not survived, it would have been the exact same video,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
But if it is a very, very well-known personality, and they happen to be on camera when there is an assassination attempt on them, I guess it will viral out very quickly because imagine if social media and so many cameras existed when Rajiv Gandhi assassination had
I just
happened.
thought about that.
Dude,
Wow.
that would be like, I remember when I first heard about that thing, my brain was like, I couldn't believe it. I was so affected by it, okay? And without even just picturing it in my head, that who was recently a PM and much loved PM, was like blown to bits and only one shoe was found. And you can picture it, even from the news media, and it can affect you. But it's just that now that we have so many visuals, I guess.
Every phone has a camera, so yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so this was really shocking as it stood out. We actually watch a lot of shocking stuff now, which we used to not. And we take it on our stride because we have seen so many videos. This was one notch higher, I guess. So yeah, it is disturbing, but I guess, I don't know.
But actually, that's the power of the reach that media, especially through the phone handset, has had, right?
Yeah.
I mean, news of the world is in our bedroom now. Not even in our bedroom, wherever you are, it's right in your pocket. So yes, as graphic as it might be, that's something that is part and parcel of having
So,
that.
I'm trying to refine your question. I mean, I understand that you asked a question that should such graphic things, the algorithm should be able to tell you. But what if I guess I was trying to answer that on that point, I think it's unavoidable. But unless you choose and you make settings to the effect. But other than that, I think you can steer it to another way of which I think once we discussed about algorithms and what happens to algorithms. But there's another part of that algorithm thing, which is that how much transparency, which platform are you on, that is also important. You are on Instagram. You discovered this on Instagram like this. One of the most, asinine platforms of all, which has like no edge to it, Instagram, and still you found it. So because it was very publicly relevant, it must have been upvoted so many times. So many people must have found it relevant that it came. Instagram was like as filtered as you get. So my point is that how much transparency if you want to steer this topic into a question of transparency and how much of our own lives will be all the time visible to others, if that connects with this, then I would like to discuss that. It is a very interesting topic because, we are about to get many laws. However much we fight, still the laws are coming. Like China, they already live in a fully surveilled society. If you live in China, you have a social score that the government is awarding you at all times. Based on that, you get insurance, your insurance changes, your housing rent changes, everything changes, your bank interest changes, everything changes based on what kind of social score you're getting. So your every moment is surveilled. You are on camera all the time. Everything you do is measured and upvoted or downvoted. The way you drove, way you did whatever. So some format of that. Some UK, they are trying to bring something like that, particularly to your social media thing. They've already passed laws to that. Europe is passing law after law about complete transparency of people's social media activity. So which means not only will a Charlie Kirk video surface, something you do might surface too tomorrow, right? It could be as simple as, you getting into a fight with somebody at a traffic signal and suddenly it gets upvoted and gets into everybody's feed because someone thought it was very funny or someone thought it was like, it is happening. It has happened to people. People have just been fighting with someone and boom, it has rocketed up. So if you want to discuss that way, then we can take that as a topic. Okay? So
where privacy and freedom of speech, are they always at odds? Where this is something private and personal.
Yeah, so that we'll end up discussing what is private and personal in today's era. Every era has its own question of what is private and what is not private. Today, what we consider private is about to completely change, and there is nothing that you can do about it. So you have to have your own new definition of what is private, what is truly private. So I think that's a good topic. What is truly private, and even does my feed also completely belong to me, or something can just come into my feed? Is it possible, or is it desirable in the name of transparency? So I think that is our topic one. What is the nature of privacy in today's world, and is our feed private enough for us, or anything can just come into our feed, right? If, violent or whatever, something we can we really control even our feed, right? So that's topic one. Topic two.
So I wanted to discuss about vertical cinema. What is this new thing which has
So
come
vertical
up?
cinema and micro drama.
Yes.
Both.
Micro drama.
Okay.
But we are also getting industry standard case absolutely low price and all of the other stuff also.
Okay. Who else wants to discuss micro drama and vertical drama? If you have heard of them, you have not even heard of them.
But I'd love to learn about it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Pakistan.
Huh?
Cricket match.
Okay. So,
Pakistan cricket match.
vertical drama and micro drama. Okay. That is subject two. Okay. India Pakistan what?
Cricket match.
अरे that is तो यार
Should they be?
वो तो यार क्या मतलब उसमें क्या डिस्कस करेंगे? हैंडशेक नहीं किया, एक्चुअली हैंडशेक नहीं किया वो बड़ा मैटर.
Seriously?
It has become more important than that. हैंडशेक नहीं किया. I have never heard of a country which goes and begs somebody to shake their hands here. Complains, gets the match referee removed. Like, complains about match referee. India के matches में वो match referee ने कितनी बार match refereeing किया है? I have not ever known the stats of match referees. This is the first time, right? Apparently he only is a match referee in India's matches. ऐसा accusation मैं first time देख रहा हूँ. Who calculates the match referee ने कितने matches referee किए? Umpire का भी सुना है, मैं match referee का first time सुना मैंने. 124 मैच में उसने इंडिया के मैचेस में किया है. Yes, it is the highest. He has never done that. But the second highest is 110. It's not like, it's not that much of, it's not as if 50 versus 124. They removed him. They wanted him removed. They were not getting down from the bus. How childish is this country? And इनके हाथ में न्यूक्लियर बटन होना ठीक है क्या? It's like जो खिलौना ले लिया है गुस्से में दबा देंगे यार ये लोग. होपफुली उनका बटन भी खिलौना है और दबाने से कुछ होगा नहीं.
Although I mean in that case I really don't know I don't understand what the whole point was also of not shaking hands or whatever. I mean, it's.
Dekho, I think it is very simple. Like what people said, it was exactly that. It was a tokenism of the highest order. But sometimes in a democracy, tokenism is very important. In a democracy, there is an art of what they call pressure cooker ka valve kholna. Right? If that valve doesn't go up, your pressure cooker will burst. Pressure cooker works only because उसमें valve है और ऊपर आ जाता है और थोड़ा सा pressure निकल जाता है. That is how your rice cooks in a pressure cooker. So in a democracy, the pressure starts building because you've got so many interests of so many millions of people. Every interest is represented by millions of people's viewpoints, right? Particularly in a 1.45 billion population country, just imagine, forget about majority. Lot of things are divided into, I will say, large contingents of people, say 200 million people each. Even if you have something that 200 million people believe in India, first of all, that's a minority. Two, there are 7 such minorities of 200 million each. Still, there are 100 million people left who have another viewpoint. So imagine if 200 million viewpoints start colliding with each other inside a pressure cooker, the temperature will rise, pressure will rise, and if you don't have the valve going up, you will have horrendous things happening. Like you saw in Nepal, there was no pressure cooker going up mechanism there. No such thing was in Bangladesh, no such thing in Nepal. One of the truly beautiful things in India is that somehow we always managed to find, we have survived an emergency, very, very actually unscathed. The amount of violence that could have happened during emergency did not happen. Our emergency did not get out of control the way it would have got out of control in any other country. We have always been lucky. I mean, I don't want to say our politicians are much more intelligent, but they have a sense of pressure valve. They do have a sense. They really understand it.
We played total 4 matches, not 3 matches in Asia Cup. So this bilateral win in other words.
So in cricket, first of all, cricket mein, even if you see worldwide, there are only top 8 teams. बाकी के लोगों को कैलकुलेट करके कुछ फायदा नहीं है. तो अक्रॉस कॉन्टिनेंट्स ऑल्सो देयर आर 8 टीम्स. उसमें से 2 जो है वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में है. Australian continent, which otherwise is total irrelevance, but in cricket, that continent is very, very important, right? Africa, there is no representation at all. Americas में से एक West Indies के अलावा there is no proper representation, right? तो continent wise representation नहीं है. तो एशिया के अंदर में you are lucky that there is Sri Lanka also. No, you're forgetting Sri Lanka. It's not a bilateral. Sri Lanka is beaten both countries very well. Sri Lanka is a World Cup winning country. Forget about the fact that now they have a very bad team. The whole country is in bad shape. Just like Pakistan, like Gavaskar called it a Popatwadi team. Now, Popatwadi team, if you know what it means, Popatwadi team in Bombay का culture में means कि absolute crap गली level का भी team नहीं है. Popatwadi मतलब जो चॉल्स होते थे उसमें से जो साले पोपट रहते जहाँ वो पोपटवाड़ी हुआ. तो पोपटवाड़ी टीम बोला उसको, which is an absolute insult, right? But it's a fact. Look at this team. They should not be playing. They could go down to Afghanistan. I don't know if they've already lost to Afghanistan. My mom has put a bet with me that they are going to lose to Afghanistan. There is no way this Pakistan team can beat Afghanistan. Does that match happen already?
I don't know.
Nobody is watching. So that's the other thing. Except my mom, who's old. I don't know how many products she can buy. So anyway, so I don't think Pakistan is what. By the time this episode comes out, also it will not have enough relevance. What will we discuss?
I have a topic that I have thought of in the past also, but I was always a little skeptical to. The influence and control of the government on temples in India.
Okay. I would be very happy.
And
because it goes into the secularism thing.
should that actually, to what extent it's all right, or is it not all right, and why do we think it is happening, and why should it not? If
Here
not,
the counter would be is कि like here government is controlling mandirs and all minority institutions are free. So the question should dichotomy क्यों है?
okay. I mean, if
Obviously
I mean,
that is the second part of it automatically. Like
yeah.
subject predicate, वो तो होना ही है.
But for me, I think if we can talk about the first in itself, it has a lot of value to talk about. I mean, always talking of something in against something that will add a certain drama to it, I'm sure. But in itself also, is it right for
It's a good topic to discuss.
for government to have anything to do with,
Because it goes into our definition of secularism and why every Indian needs to wonder about certain words ka definitions. And I think that's not happening at all. Everyone is like, I see Rahul Gandhi waving the constitution every day and he seems to have never read it. Because it's bizarre what he says, because that's not in the constitution. So people are just seeing that red book being waved by someone. Nobody is reading it. People should read a little bit, and if they're not, don't read it, at least they should know the meaning of certain words. कि words का meaning अगर completely twist कर दोगे ना, तो मतलब discussion करना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. How do you debate or discuss anything if the words only don't mean the same to you? Right? We must first agree on the language.
But in today's time, that's another thing, right? I mean, everyone is redefining words and as per their own.
Yeah, but the dictionary किस लिए है भाई? Constitution is also like a dictionary in the end. So the constitution is written for a reason, so that you and I cannot just twist it into different things. That's why एक word का उन्होंने definition दिया है. Law में भी, people keep saying, अरे law में तो कुछ भी possible है, कोई भी interpretation लगा दो. Actually नहीं हो सकता. Law में सब define किया हुआ है. इंटरप्रिटेशन नहीं हो सकते, आर्ग्यूमेंट हो सकता है, वो उल्लू बनाने के लिए है. लॉयर्स लाइक टू कीप अस लाइक दैट बिकॉज लॉयर्स को कौन पैसे देगा नहीं तो. अदरवाइज लॉ इज द सिंपलेस्ट थिंग. एनीबडी कैन रीड द लॉ एंड प्रैक्टिस इट, बिकॉज लॉ इज वन प्लेस वेयर एवरीथिंग मीन्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट इट इज. बिकॉज एक एक चीज का डिफिनेशन दिया हुआ है और उधर ही रहना पड़ेगा. इफ यू रिमाइंड द जज कि नहीं नहीं यही डिफिनेशन है, एज पर लॉ दिस इज द डेफिनेशन, ही कैन नॉट गो, ही कैन नॉट से नहीं नहीं इसका मीनिंग कुछ और है. कोई जज नहीं बोल सकता कोर्ट में बैठ के ऐसा. It is only when both lawyers are trying to twist it, then the judge has to only make a judgment between the two. Right? He is giving a judgment between two parties most of the times. He is not giving a judgment always in public interest. Right?
So now, then there essentially would be two topics that we will be talking about, in which the one of course would be the value of privacy, how privacy is changing with time.
Connected with
But
my
again-
feed.
but again-
How can something come into my feed without my acceptance of it?
Correct. But we might discuss government intervention in that also.
Yeah, we'll end up discussing.
And in this topic,
This is a totally
this
different
is a
topic. This
different
is about secularism. This is completely about secularism and our twisted definition of secularism that we have got and completely muddled. See, like last time we discussed the muddled definition of freedom of speech in India, and same related to it, we have a muddled definition of secularism in India. And every Indian is now infected with these two definitions, and where we are completely confused. Like all the Chinese are confused about democracy. A lot of Chinese now believe that they are living in something called Chinese democracy. There was a song by Guns N' Roses back in the 90s. That's a 30 saal pehle. It was called Chinese democracy, which was like a satire on this whole claim of China that China has a democracy. It was called Chinese democracy, which means like absolutely something absurd. It's like saying we are living in heaven. It would be like that. So anyway, so 3 topics.
So since we have anyways come up to China, what a great place to start. The value of privacy.
Well, yeah. So topic 1, which is absolutely, it starts with China, because Chinese have been running an experiment for the longest time. I mean, they've been running 2 experiments. One has been supremely successful, which is that how to, so in India, Mr. Nehru tried a great idea called mixed economy. And apparently it didn't really work in India. But the Chinese went a step, Chinese took a lot of time, but in the 1980s, with the support of United States of America, China, using American money, tried the best form of mixed economy ever. Mr. Nehru did it with the private sector going in one direction and the public sector going in another direction. So his mixed economy was always tottering on worst of both worlds. The Chinese took best of both worlds in the sense they took the best form of communism. When I am saying best, matlab what works in the world. Not, I am not a fan of communism. So not in that way. What can be made to work on the ground. which is that one party within which there are elections, you cannot have a second party, no other, and that party has to be communist. So you are politically stable and economically you have only one format, that government can supersede everything. But you leave private enterprise to happen slowly, and that private enterprise will be given as much capital as required. Full capitalism allowed as long as the private enterprise does not clash with the political ideology. Businesses have full freedom to operate as a business. They don't have any political freedoms. They cannot contribute to any election, they cannot do anything, they have no rights as such, their business can be taken over tomorrow, government can put a person in your company anytime they want. But overall, business wise you're free. You can sell to anyone, you can do anyone. Right? Your employees cannot travel from one city to the other without permission, but your products can travel anywhere, including the whole world. And they funded it so much, more than any other country in the world. They dropped their interest rates, so they did really well with it, okay, with their economy. At the same time, they ran the second experiment, which is, why do people want freedom anyway? And it is a great question for the Chinese to ask, because in China, I once saw, I think Sir Martin Sorrell's team presented it in Singapore, Martin Sorrell being one of the greatest advertising luminaries. So he's like a behavior advertising, the best advertising people study human behavior, right? Because that's what they're trying to influence. So he had run like a long study of China, and the key insights, I'll give you like some 2 or 3. So they showed a diamond ad from China, okay. Now, you've seen all the diamond ads in India, right? You see, what do you see? You see luxury, and you see everything other than any utility to it, right? Diamonds are not sold by utility, say some utility to it or something. And the diamonds are forever and this. So the diamonds are forever for us is like some expression of love or value. Unke liye only the value. So the Chinese ad was so bizarre. It was all about a diamond being like a store of economic value permanently. Security. It will give you security.
It's an investment.
It's a security. Your life, 2 people coming together and when you're giving a diamond to your wife, that means your futures are secure. It's like, so then he showed other ads. Every ad basically became this. Every ad became like an insurance ad. In India, what insurance ads are like this, right? Every ad in China somehow appeals to that this is going to give you security. The Chinese value security more than any other item on the agenda. So when the government of China experimented on them, saying freedom zyada hai ya security, the Chinese to put their hand up very easily and said security was. So that experiment they have been able to run like that for a long time because of that. So security mein, one of the key fundamentals of security is what? To keep you secure, I need to control other people's behavior. Take like रोड पे हम लोग ड्राइव करते हैं, कोई भी किधर से भी कट करके चला जाता है, लेन कटिंग करता है. So one of the key things of that is no one is really truly safe. Anybody could hit you anywhere. So to control to keep you safe, the right way to do it, please drive in your own lane, boss. Please follow the traffic rules. But what are those rules doing? They're controlling you, right? It's ending up controlling everyone to keep you safe. But as it applies to everyone, it is actually, we feel it is okay. But in China, this becomes not only about the traffic. It becomes about everything you do. Everything is about keeping you in a lane to keep other people supposedly safe. From who? If everybody is going in their lane all the time, then there is no requirement of increasing this quotient even more, right? But they keep doing it. तो तुमने कैमरा लगाया, सबसे पहले ट्रैफिक में कैमरा किसने लगाया? चाइना ने लगाया. अब वो सब जगह एक्सपोर्ट हो गया. Because governments of the world love controlling their people. No government wants to be without controlling the people. तो totalitarian China से वो सब जगह एक्सपोर्ट होता है, जितने thoughts है, right? Social China has this what they call the Great Firewall for their internet. which means their internet is totally different from the rest of the world internet.
So you're saying traffic cameras were not existent before China introduced them?
No, that they made it compulsory to put traffic cameras everywhere. Cameras were there. Cameras were not a Chinese invention, but they made it cheap and they made it everywhere. They put it used for some. पहले लोग CCTV सिर्फ building private areas में use करते थे. Common area में use करने वाला China पहला है. लगा दिया क्योंकि उन्होंने इतने cheap cameras बनाए. दूसरे किसी country में अभी दुनिया का जितना cameras है surveillance का कहाँ से आता है? China से आता है. Not only does China से ये idea export हुआ, literally the cameras also are exported by China only. Because nobody can make that many cheap cameras. So, तो चाइना ने ये एक्सपोर्ट कर दिया, चाइना से ये एक्सपोर्ट हुआ. अब वी आर ऑल सर्वेलेंस.
Cheap country.
It is very, unless you travel to, a lot of people go for business and they go to like certain places. Those are slightly different from the other Chinese cities. If you go to Beijing and Shanghai, you will encounter this very quickly if you keep your eyes and ears open, that you are living in a completely surveilled society. And their behavior, the way we, India में भी कोई पुलिस को अपना friend तो समझता नहीं है. But we are not, just at the sight of the first cop, we don't feel afraid. Instantly you will notice that a Chinese person feels afraid dealing with their cops. Because the cops have complete rights to do what the fuck they want. You have no rights.
And now
they are always right.
And now complete information also.
Yeah, and if they go after you, like even in India we believe, right? If ED तुम्हारे पीछे पड़ जाएगा, तो तुम बच नहीं सकते. ED का income tax department भी अगर properly तुम्हारे पीछे पड़ जाए, you would have made mistakes. Every human being makes mistakes. Nobody drives perfectly even however much they want. If I surveil you continuously, you would be at fault at least once or twice in a day. No one can be perfect. The whole point of surveillance, the problem with surveillance is this, that it expects people to be perfect throughout the day. It's not possible. And throughout the life, it's absolutely impossible. So which means everybody becomes a criminal. Which means everybody is living in fear then that they can be blackmailed by the government. So that's the problem with surveillance. But with surveillance becoming cheap, it has a corollary. Like, go back 30 years, like all this anger that you get about mainstream media, the rich and the powerful and the government, they had access to the media and they told you whatever they wanted. People had no way of creating their media or reporting their media, so it was one way. Correct? And then the cameras became cheap, they came into your phone and you started reporting from everywhere. And now the mainstream media is irrelevant and they are always crying and everybody, they've got the name fake news because yeah, they were peddling fake news and they keep saying, हमारे टाइम पे हम ट्रुथ बोलते थे. नहीं, तुम्हारे टाइम पे तुम पीआर करते थे और उसको ट्रुथ बोलते थे और आज पता चल जाता है कि तुम पीआर कर रहे हो किसी का. पहले पता नहीं चलता था, है ना. फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में हमको बहुत अच्छी तरह ये पता चल चुका है. पहले बताते ही नहीं थे, सिर्फ पीआर रिपीट हो जाता था और बोल देते थे यही है. आपने बोल दिया कि भाई ये एक्टर के 30 लाख फैन हैं तो हो है, फिर न्यूज़पेपर वाला क्यों लिखेगा, ऐसे सोचते थे. अब हमको पता है झूठ बोल रहा है, इसको पैसे दिए क्योंकि इसके कोई फैन नहीं है ना. तो दिख रहा है कि इसके कोई फैन नहीं है यार. तो ये पॉसिबल हुआ क्योंकि लोगों के पास डेमोक्रेटिकली मीडिया टेक्नोलॉजी फ्लैटन कर देता है सब कुछ. तो सिमिलरली एज द गवर्नमेंट हैज स्टार्टेड सर्वेलिंग पीपल, people have started surveilling the government. Every government officer is now under surveillance by people. Everybody's got a phone. Everybody all the time cops का photo ले रहा है, इसका photo ले रहा है, उसका photo ले रहा है. The pressure is back on them. See, you surveil me, I surveil you. Your neighbor starts surveilling you, you will be able to surveil your neighbor. So it cancels out sort of. But surveillance is here to stay. Like I expect a time when the drones will be, there will be personal drones.
But the biggest attack is on privacy then.
Privacy, so we'll have to define what privacy is. What is privacy? What according to you is privacy? What is privacy?
What is privacy? Me time. Yeah, what is privacy actually? For me, it would be being able to do what I want to do in a space where I'm not judged or kept an eye on in the first place. To be able to say what I want to say without the fear of
Correct. But if
have
you
a
were,
certain space where
okay.
I
So
where
if
I'm able to do
everybody is under surveillance and the norm is clear that you can without fear say anything, there will be no repercussion anyway. So privacy ka one of the things that you have to say things in privacy because there should not be any repercussion. That goes away, right? Because it's like take the Big Boss house. Everybody is in surveillance. People can say whatever. The repercussions is only that you will get thrown out of Big Boss house. Nobody is going to beat you up and put you in jail for it, right? So if you know that hardly any consequences are there for saying anything, like today almost everything you can say. You could not say many things, but you can say now. In China obviously you can't, but in our society and in most societies, if you give assure people of freedom of speech, then that worry goes away, that you are in surveillance, but whatever you are saying, that is, like in parliament, people are protected, right? Parliament is always under camera, but people can say whatever in parliament and they cannot even be a defamation case against you. Whatever you say in parliament is protected. Finally, that should apply to people also. People should also be able to say whatever. I mean, my representative can say anything in parliament. Why can't I say it in my house? Right? So you're protected. Even now, see WhatsApp, government जो surveillance करता है, not in China again, but in Europe or even the law that they're trying to put it in India, is that if you say something in a WhatsApp group that has X number of people on it, when does it become worth for the government to take cognizance of it? If you're saying it in a group of 500 people, okay. I mean, they're putting it at 500, say, as per their law that they're suggesting, which is in a way pretty okay, right? If you're saying it in a family, because 500 people don't exist in your house, current privacy, you get it in your house, right? Currently, people are only assured of privacy in their house or in their private property. In your private property, you can't have 500 people. So, maximum your family group should be private. Family group ke tweets or posts, the government should not be able to use against you. Anything other than that is a public space. Why shouldn't the government have access to it? The government is asking. It may be WhatsApp on your phone, but it's 500 people.
But why should it have access?
Why shouldn't it have? If you go out on the road and call a 500 people ka meeting, you have to take permission from the police to do it first of all. You can't even do a 500 people ka meeting just like that. So that's already controlled. Otherwise there will be chaos. Every day 500 people ka meeting koi bhi kidhar bhi kar raha hoga. तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना.
But online they're not creating any chaos, right? It's a conversation.
You could be, right? So that's what they're monitoring. They're not saying you don't do it. They're saying I'll monitor it. I cannot create permission system for 500 people ka groups. So what I want to know is that what the fuck are they discussing? Are they discussing the killing of someone? Then the government wants to know. If you're discussing illegal stuff, I want to know. Because it's public. No, I'm not supporting the government. I'm just saying this is the place that they are coming from. Democratic government, not Chinese government. They are asking this question, how do I monitor this? Because this is a public place.
Sorry, you're
sorry.
going to ask.
But here, the problem here होती है कि government, it only steps in when it has a khundas against somebody. Normally सब चलता है वो. Here people can say whatever shit they want, कुछ नहीं होता. But अगर किसी you go against the powers to be, whichever, I'm not going into left or right, then if they want, they can do डंडा मारो.
No,
But that's an assumption, of course, that it's only happening at that time. But yeah, fair enough. I mean, you have a reasonable number of examples of people misusing power in that sense when they have information.
Correct. I mean, anybody in India that is sitting in a place of power, उसका एकमात्र intention is to use that power, Baba.
And to stay in power.
Obviously, because he wants to use it against you. That is why nobody in India really wants power to make money. I'm telling you, my observation is this. They are not doing it to make money. Nitin Gadkari might be, but not everybody. Not everybody. Right? Not everybody is that smart कि भाई मेरा ही इथेनॉल का फैक्ट्री है तो चल इथेनॉल mix कर
टॉपिक क्यों नहीं डिस्कस कर रहे हैं?
किसी ने बोला नहीं, बहुत अच्छा टॉपिक था, बट वो तो अभी है, आगे भी कर सकते हैं. So everybody is not that smart कि मैं हाईवे बनाऊंगा, फिर उसमें हाईवे में जो होर्डिंग होगा, वो होर्डिंग की कंपनी मेरे ही कोई बेचेगा. Now that much of calculation not every politician in India has. And he's saying, ना, मैं कोई संत नहीं हूँ, बोल रहा है, मैंने सब लीगली किया है, बिडिंग हुई है, बिडिंग में मेरा कंपनी को आया है तो आया है, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, मैं बिजनेसमैन हूँ. But obviously you have all the knowledge of all the highways, where you know exactly how much traffic will flow, you have all the data, so you are obviously privileged. But leave that aside. I'm saying but he is very harmless in the, he is not ever going to come. You can say anything about Nitin Gadkari, he is not going to come and hit you. You're safe. He is not motivated by power to use the power for this purpose. But if you go to a Bihar politician, the only reason they are in politics is to use it against someone. They are not trying to make money. Literally, I'm telling you, I mean, like Chara Ghotala was how much? It was fucking peanuts. If he had granted licenses to open 10 factories, he would have made more money. Why would you do a cow ka ghotala? Think of it. How much money can you make out of cow and uska chara? Versus how much could you have made if you had given 10 big factory ka licenses? I mean, think of it. Tamil Nadu politicians made more money. Richest politicians in India are in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is doing the best. Pehle Maharashtra used to be the best. So Sharad Pawar and all were making more money. Tamil Nadu is making tremendous progress. It's the highest. Tamil Nadu's rate of progress is higher than anything in the world. It's like 12% growth, economic growth.
But once coming back to we did do enough talk about how the government surveillance is happening.
Yeah.
But the topic really started from being able to, are you really in control of your feed, of your social media feed?
Yeah.
Now in that case, that if that be surveillance and in some ways invasion of your privacy, then that's not being done by the government. That's actually being done by companies.
No, government
or
is,
private entities
No,
in
no,
that sense, right? I mean, we are
Government
even,
is- government
we are
is
even
influencing.
talking about our phone listening to our conversations. We are talking about
that's a worry, but the phone only listens, mostly the phone only listens to give you certain data for you, and it stays inside the phone. It doesn't
No, I mean,
go to the
that's talking about intent. See again, it's information being collected by a private entity,
Correct.
which we assume is only and only for my benefit.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
But I'm saying in this case, if a certain feed, which I may not want to watch, in this case he said that he claimed that he hadn't seen such a graphic video before.
Correct.
And yet it was part of his.
Correct.
It could be just because of, as you call,
Upvoting of the algorithm.
of the algorithm.
Because more and
of
more
course.
people watched it, and more people found it relevant, so it kept on going, and then it spreads into everybody's feed because they
But
expect
sometimes things are
everyone to be, because you did end up watching it. You didn't just shut it.
I thought it was a sketch or something. I didn't know what I was seeing. I couldn't figure it out.
What had you been watching before that?
So I just,
Regularly, had you watched anything violent before that?
not violent, but various stuff. Particular, yeah. So maybe some political content. So maybe because of that.
Had you expressed any interest in knowing about free speech and stuff like that?
Possibly,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that Charlie Kirk being one of the biggest advocates of free speech, maybe his death would be important to you. They must have thought that. Yeah. So it's always connected to your algorithm in a way. Not everybody will get it.
Yeah. And it wasn't. It felt like it didn't look like anything how Hollywood or Bollywood portrays it. It was completely different. It was weird.
Because it was real.
Yeah.
Because it was real. It happened in a campus.
And just what you were saying something about privacy definition. There's that saying that dance like no one's watching. So that's not. There's no risk, but there's still comfort in no one looking at me.
Correct. No. So the key part you said is that, again, like related to what he said, that I can do something without any consequence for it. So I can do certain things in privacy, and there would be no consequences for it. That is the meaning of privacy for a lot of people. It is one of the pillars of privacy, that I can do things like in the comfort of my home, in my bedroom, or anywhere, which is really private. A really private thing means it has no consequences. And uska second part is obviously nobody is watching or nobody is listening, because you feel that if somebody watches or listens, then I cannot do these acts anymore, or I cannot do certain things if people are watching. That is a corollary of it. Actually speaking, people watching or not is not the point. You want to do it without consequence. That's the main thing, right?
Are you sure? I mean, yeah, maybe it's intertwined. I agree.
So
I mean,
let's put it, I'll give you an example. You would maybe walk around naked in your bedroom. You will not walk around naked in your drawing room, for example. Okay, even in your own house. Even if you know nobody is watching, you will not try to do it in your drawing room. Or maybe you are the kind of person who will not even walk naked in your bedroom, you will do it only inside your bathroom. Okay. Now, for a nudist beach, there are also people, they are walking around on a beach with hundreds of people naked. Are they feeling violation of privacy there? They are not. So, it's just a matter of habit that we feel कि हमारे घर के अंदर we can walk around naked, but we cannot walk around naked on the road. But if everybody was walking naked,
habit or a choice? I mean,
no, I think it's a habit. It's like previously people used to wear very, very traditional clothes which used to cover your body more. Today people are walking around half naked anyway. And everybody is comfortable with that. In fact, people are saying, hey, comment mat karo uske upar, wo uska choice hai. Correct. People are coming to office in shorts. Shorts. Here, he is wearing shorts. Right here. This would be unthinkable some time back. Going to a show wearing a shorts? No. But it's fine because nobody is completely safe. None of us give a shit if he is wearing a shorts or not. So it's culture, it's a habit. So I'm saying if tomorrow everybody was walking around naked on the road, then you would not feel like it's a violation of privacy. So I would say now what makes, so I'm not denying what you said. I'm just saying there is something else to privacy.
I'll tell you, it's very interesting that I'm having this conversation because in the last 1 month, I must confess, I'm going through a phase in my life where I don't want to be private at all. And I would wish that for everybody. Not that I want people not to be private, but I would wish that they would be in this similar phase where privacy is not limiting them.
Correct.
From being who they are.
Correct.
It's like I can be myself only in private.
Correct.
Why can't you be yourself all the time?
Right.
So
gay people needed a lot of privacy before because people would not understand gay people. Now that gay people can hold hands in public, well, they're not just holding hands, they're kissing, they're doing all kinds of things on public, right? 30 years ago, no way, man. So
basically we have completely talked about why privacy should not be there.
No. I'm coming to that. No, I'm trying to define. I'm trying to get to the core of what is privacy. I'm trying to strip away the feudal and the old definitions of privacy.
The conditioned idea of privacy, is that what
Previously what was thought.
What do you think is
What
privacy?
I'm trying to define. I'm doing it as I go along. I have always wondered because I am as private a person as you can get. I don't post about my life on social media.
So what if
I don't post.
What if this question is less about privacy and more about choice?
Well, it's related, right? It's his feed. If something is popping into it and he has no control, that's the same thing with not having privacy. So I'm saying, I interpreted that. So I'm saying we are living a more public life. Like what you used to say now, what rock stars and film stars would say, yaar, mere life ki privacy chali gayi, yaar. I'm a star now, I'm living in public. Everybody is now living in public. When you put your reel out there, you are in the public. And everybody is putting their reels out there, right?
Even if you haven't actually, if you have a social media account, you're in public.
Correct. if you are going for a vacation and putting the pic there, you are in public. And then how much of that, and if that person starts obsessing about you and starts finding out who you are, where do you stay, what do you do, he can get all that information very, very quickly. And then you can't demand, just like a star should not be demanding privacy because that's what he is making money from, being in public. Why should you expect privacy? I don't understand why a star should expect privacy.
But again, see,
You cannot have any privacy. साला autograph sign करने के तो मैं तुमको public चाहिए. बाद में they should disappear instantly. How can they disappear?
Yeah.
See, the question is privacy also stems when two individuals are talking. समझो if two individuals in privacy are talking, doing certain things, and उसमें से एक person screenshot निकाल के blackmail कर लेते हैं. So privacy becomes.
See that I was just going to come to that example. to me, one of the most private things that recently happened, it happened in public, but it was the most private thing. Narendra Modi and Vladimir Putin in China, the most surveilled place on earth, talked for 45 minutes inside Vladimir Putin's car instead of getting down from it. It has never happened. No leader has ever done that. The state visits when
Both of them know.
They know China में full surveillance है. पूरा गाड़ी बंद करके गाड़ी के अंदर ही 45 मिनट बात किया. And no one fucking knows if they called Trump from there. They did what the fuck? Sitting in China, they did. And I'm telling you, the whole world must be wondering. Their aides were not there. Nobody was there. Nobody knows what they did.
Apparently, they didn't even know that they were going to do that. Huh?
No, because Putin just suddenly waited 10 minutes for Modi to come out. When he came out, he told Modi not to go in his car, come in my car. He went in this car. And then when they reached the other place, they would not come out. 45 minutes they were in. So, see how you can beat. You can create privacy in the most public, I mean, they are the most public people. And they're in the most surveilled place on earth, China. But look how they turned it around. So, if you want privacy, you can get it. So, and that's privacy because they don't want something found out. They don't want even lip readers to know what they're talking. Right? So it's again about consequence. Obviously, though, this privacy was about consequences. If it was known what they're doing, they didn't want anyone to know what they're doing. So obviously, they did something that nobody wanted them to do, which like maybe calling Donald Trump and having a great laugh about what they're doing to the world. Right? We are setting everybody up for a, nobody fucking knows what we are doing. Okay? So, which you can't do in public, right? So, with aides present, somebody will leak it. Arey, ye to mazak kar rahe sabke saath. So, but I'm saying, remove that again. If you remove consequences, if you remove conditioning, then what is private? What exactly is privacy? I'm not saying it's not there. I'm sure it is.
So the conditioning is an interesting one where my thoughts is me, it's a part, it's an extension, it's something that belongs to no one other than myself. The secrets that I have that are trivial and meaningless, worthless. The most precious things are a stone or a pebble on a beach. They're nothing.
Correct.
But we draw these lines.
Now you're coming to the crux of the privacy matter. It's not really about consequences. It's about, like you were saying, it's about choice. It's about certain things about me that I only wish to enjoy alone. It's not that it has any consequences. Like you say, it could be a pebble in the beach. I don't want anyone to know. That's it. Privacy for privacy's sake. It is my alone moment. Not because of any reason. It's solitude. Huh?
He started with me time.
Me time. Correct. It's me time. It's me time. It's like solitude. When a person
हम लोग circle करके वही आ गए.
Correct. No, I stripped out all
But
the
thank
other
you.
points.
I like it.
It's solitude. Privacy is nothing but solitude. It's basically solitude. You can expand it to say me and my wife or me and my partner, me and my child, but it's me, an extension of me, so it's actually solitude. It's like a person going into the Himalayas and then doing meditation there. He does not wish to be found by anyone. Right? That's privacy. That I am now meditating and nobody will disturb me. I'm whatever. I'm saying you could be doing, you could have a bizarre sex act for us, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be shocking. I like the fact that you said that it is the most benign thing. If anyone knew, it would not matter. It would be the most boring thing for them to know, but I don't want them to know. And the fact is that's the only thing that matters. That you don't want someone to know something. That's it. Does it? It could be great, it could be bad, doesn't matter. Just like freedom of speech. It comes right back to that it's my thing and no one else has a fucking business poking into it. That's all. It's not because it's good or bad, not because it's threatening to anyone. It has no classification. There are certain things I would like to keep to myself. Thank you very much and fuck off. That is privacy. It's not because of the condition. If it is because of the conditioning, so I am saying this much will remain. Finally, people will come to this definition and this will remain. But people will have to confront it because today, the maximum things people are doing it is out of fear कि मैं वो चीज करूंगा लोगों को पता चल जाएगा तो नुकसान होगा मेरा. It is not really about your expression that you are protecting. Like free speech also. Lot of people want free speech because they want to give galis to other people. They don't want to say something of importance. They don't want to discuss something of importance. They are not Charlie Kirks. Everybody who wants freedom of speech is not Charlie Kirk. They want to say horrible things. Right? I am saying they have the right. I agree, you can say horrible things. But that is not the reason to have freedom of speech in the first place. Same way, privacy is not to protect your bad acts. Privacy is to protect your need to remain you. That is, when you are in solitude, and this is the crux, when you are in solitude, that is when you are you. When you are in public, you are portraying something. Nobody can say.
Completely themselves.
You cannot be completely yourself in public. You will always be acting something out. You are on stage with people. When you are not on stage, that is privacy. And that's why you would want to protect that and say, भाई कैमरा मत लगा, मैं स्टेज पे आ जाऊंगा फिर से. हर टाइम पे हर जगह कैमरा नहीं चाहिए मेरे को. Because I don't want to be on stage. I want to be me for myself. If I am looking at the mirror and looking at that, I don't want anyone else to know. There is nobody else. It's my contemplation of myself. That is privacy. How I contemplate it, I don't give a fuck. I could be watching porn, I could be doing whatever. Doesn't matter. I could be reading the most esoteric poetry, I could be doing satsang, I could be listening to a bhajan. None of it I want you to know. Because I don't want you to know. If we start defining it like that, I think everybody will come to understand that and respect that. The whole world, governments of the world will also respect. Chinese, not the Chinese. But everybody else will agree. Any free society, they will draw the line there. But people are saying what, नहीं, मैं WhatsApp ग्रुप में किसी को गाली बक रहा हूँ, गवर्नमेंट को क्यों देखना है? अरे तुम अगर प्राइम मिनिस्टर को गालियाँ दे रहे हो, मारने की धमकी दे रहे हो, तो ऑब्वियसली समवन विल वांट टू नो यार, बिकॉज अगर रोड पे तुम चलते हुए ऐसे चिल्लाओगे तो तुमको पकड़ के ले जाएंगे. वहां प्राइवेसी नहीं है, तो यहां प्राइवेसी क्यों होगी? जस्ट बिकॉज इज व्हाट्सएप. तुमने अगर चोरी के क्रिप्टो रखे हुए हैं कोई लॉकर में, डिजिटल लॉकर में, तो प्राइवेसी कैसे आएगा उसमें? चोरी क्यों ना, चोरी किया हुआ चीज का कोई प्राइवेसी नहीं हो सकता.
Crime, privacy cannot protect crime.
Exactly. So I'm saying
Should not.
all the other things you have to strip away. And if you reduce it to just me time, argument closed. You are not supposed to say, if you say, no, but no one should peep into my sex acts. People will say, why not? Why not? What's the big deal? People are doing sex acts in public more and more. Public display of affection is pretty common. पुराने जमाने में जाओगे तो kissing was in public was like shocking. So sex in public is also okay. Why should I not watch you having sex? Somebody might ask, what's so big deal in that? So you'll have to agree. Yeah, that's not the point. The point is I don't want you to watch. That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. My idea of privacy can be totally different from your idea.
Exactly. Like freedom of speech. It's the same thing. It's a freedom. It's a freedom to not be surveilled. That's it. That is privacy. I want to be free from surveillance at some things, some places, and draw the line and tell me where is the line. So they'll tell you where is the line, but you'll have to be conscious. You cannot say building का elevator private होना चाहिए. अभी मेरे building में CCTV लगा. I'm the secretary of my building. Okay, I went through this argument. I could not do it in this way because society committees are not the right place to do this. But I actually asked them, and they all got very angry when I asked them to define privacy, because we were increasing the number of CCTVs in our building because so many people have this issue, right? They always feeling insecure. हमारे बिल्डिंग में आज तक कोई रॉबरी नहीं हुई है 25 साल में, कोई अनटूवर्ड इंसिडेंट नहीं हुआ है, किसी ने किसी बच्चे को कुछ नहीं किया है, नथिंग हैज हैपेंड, एंड फिर भी इतना डर. सो दिस पीपल वांटेड टू इंक्रीज अस CCTV एंड वी हैड द मनी, सो वी सेड ओके विल डू, सब जगह कैमरा लगाओ. तो ऐसे करते करते आज 56 कैमरे लग गए मेरे बिल्डिंग में. एवरी इंच ऑफ इट इज सर्वेल्ड. What I did not allow, the only place that is not surveilled is each floor ka area when you come out of the lift and the flats ke samne ka jo area hai, that is, I did not allow them to put any cameras there. And they kept on fighting me on that. Ki, sir, aap kyun mana kar rahe ho? And my committee was not, they wanted to put. So I had to take it to the AGM. It was bizarre because AGM mein the secretary is fighting against this resolution that the committee has put. I won finally after 2 hours of breaking my head, and I got it out. I had to play a trick on them because I know how Indians are sensitive to it, that if you put a camera there, finally I won it like that. It was not by ideology. If you put a camera there, in India, maximum people keep their doors open of the house. Your women will be seen on the camera. I'm not proud of using that logic, but that's how I got the fucking cameras out. But they were not understanding this point. Yeah, you could look into somebody's house because doors will be open in India and you will see right through the house. Your privacy is gone at all. And why should you see who's
entering or coming out of my
but
house?
they are saying lift में तो दिख ही रहा है, नीचे तो आप लिखवा ही रहे हो, तो फिर क्या प्रॉब्लम है? I said, but वो कौन है? वो कौन है? उसके घर में जाके क्या कर रहा है? Why do you want to know? Why do you want to surveil your own members? वो बाहर वाले को तो देख लिया ना, लिफ्ट में आया, आपको मालूम पड़ गया वो कौन से घर में गया. You know now. If he does anything, you will come to know. But उनका private moment at the door, how they meet, what they do, how they greet, what happens. Why do you want to know that? But I was not winning with that. I got to win with the fear of exposing their women. There I used a feudal argument and I won because India is deeply feudal. But this is how much people don't understand privacy at all. Security and privacy को आपस में घुमा गए, people run after security and उसके चक्कर में सब बर्बाद कर देते. ये अगर आप national level पे लेके जाओगे यही हो रहा है. People are scaring you and then they're stripping you from your privacy. People will scare you for security reason and that they'll do that. But I'm saying overall एक जो feed के बारे में बोल के मैं आ रहा हूँ, I think we are going to reach a massively transparent world. Governments will have to be transparent, people will have to be transparent. More and more of your life will be exposed to everyone. And just like in a nudist beach, and no one will give a shit. People will become so used to it that they will not care. Right? Only those people stare at people going in shorts who have never seen a person in shorts. Right? Otherwise, no one cares. Similarly, you will do lots of things in public that you would have never dreamed of doing, and you will be fine. And then your core, what it will do is that it will help you discover what is your core thing that you want to keep private, what is so worthwhile. So, more crowded the world gets, more solitude का meaning define करना पड़ता है. So, more transparent the world becomes, more you are forced to define what is private for you and how you will get it. Right? So, अच्छा है ना? We are being forced to look at ourselves properly. Like after some time you will have, people are arguing about guns and all so much. After a while, you will have personal security. Today, only the richest people can have personal security. Once the robots come, once the small miniature drones come, and they'll become really cheap very, very quickly. You will have your personal drone follow you wherever you go. Anyone tries to fuck around with you, your drone will take that person out. And in exact precise ways. जहाँ उसको किसी को मारना पड़ेगा मार देगा, जहाँ पर सिर्फ अनकॉन्शियस करना पड़ेगा अनकॉन्शियस कर देगा, जहाँ पर सिर्फ उसको थोड़ा सा झटका देना उतना ही देगा. And once it is known that everybody can afford a personal drone, security drone, you think anyone will attack you? Nobody will attack you.
Unless they know how to attack the drone then.
Unless they know how to attack the drone, in which case soon there will be software evolution that will happen and then, you know, it's like VPN.
Cyber individual wars हो जाएंगे अब तो. Country तो दूर की बात है.
नहीं होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा. It's just, it's called a deterrent. Na? Once the deterrent comes in, people stop. Like there have been no nuclear wars since the nuclear bomb was dropped. You know that nuclear bombs are there, सब चुप बैठ जाते. After a point, you just shut up. So people will shut up. It's like America में gun violence बहुत बोलते हैं, right? इतना gun violence हुआ, इतना gun violence हुआ. But वो gun violence एक incident, separate incident है जहाँ mass shootout कोई कर देता है. But normal interpersonal, without their minorities and ghettos involved, take among white people themselves, okay? In their neighborhoods, how many gun violences happen? Nobody dares commit it because everybody knows everybody is a gun owner. कोई हाथ भी नहीं लगाएगा तुमको, तुम्हारे घर पे घुसने का ट्राई भी नहीं करेगा, कुछ नहीं करेगा. They'll fucking, you know, where my daughter lives in America, they keep things open. Door कोई lock नहीं करता है, car कोई lock नहीं करता है. Nobody gives a fucking shit. Okay, you leave something somewhere and go, no one takes it. Okay, literally. But you go away to another area, everything on. But this area, everybody has a gun. Everybody has a gun. No one will try to fuck with you because you will get shot. सो इट्स अ डिटरेंट. क्राइम होता ही नहीं है, पॉसिबल ही नहीं. कोई घर पे आके तुम्हारा चोरी करने का ट्राई नहीं करेगा.
Except that your son will go and shoot.
No, but no, your son. See, that is a different thing. So the gun is actually not killing. It's his hate that is killing. Gun cannot kill anyone.
Yeah, but it's
And people have killed in UK with knives. UK has full gun control. But people have killed people with knives, right? There have been knives attacks on trains and
That's
all
true.
that.
I mean, if the intent is there, you'll figure the way out.
He'll find a gun. He'll find a gun from anywhere. Because he didn't tell his father, can I borrow your gun and go? That's not what happened.
Yeah, he stole
it happened like, he did it in, but anyway, that's a different topic. I'm just saying, you will live in a transparent time. You will have more and more things that will become acceptable, and you will be so secure going forward that there will be no safety issue out. It will be very difficult to scare a person 10 years down the line once this happens. Like today, think of it, when we first got computers, okay, even 15 years back, 10 years back, how worried were you about antivirus? You were, right? Everybody was so keen about antivirus in that Microsoft Windows world. And then I bought a Mac in 2008, my first Mac, and I forgot all about antivirus. What is an antivirus? I don't know anything about antivirus because there are no viruses for Mac. And some people try to scare me into downloading a antivirus for Mac. Then I Googled and I checked, and Apple recommends it's not required. But if you want, you can put. I never put. So fuck off, I'm not going to put. And then the mobiles came, and again they tried to scare you, Kaspersky and this and that. Who installs antivirus in a phone? On a phone, people go to all kinds of sites, everywhere. If you want it to be infected, you will be totally infected. Can they infect really? The operating systems have become so good that there is no separate antivirus required. You don't need, right? So you're safe. You're actually unless you click stupid links, there is no way for your data to be taken by anyone. कुछ भी कर लो. गंदे apps download नहीं करोगे, गंदे links नहीं click करोगे.
You will have to invite.
You will have to. There is no other way. So you are safe. Actually speaking, we are much more safe than we were 10 years ago. We just became very safe.
Even after being so public.
You becoming so public and more digital proliferation. Right? How many people thought UPI is going to take out all the money from your bank? Has it actually happened? I mean, everybody is using it, right? All the time. So, technology is not something that makes it worse. It's always going to flatten, and it's always going to be safer than before.
There can be hiccups, but things will...
It will always be. The cars today are safer than the cars before. There is no way that technology will remain stagnant or get worse. One thing is for certain, that no technology gets worse. It can get irritating, but it cannot be worse, right? From the point of view of these things. There are a lot of things to be said about too much technology in cars, and how there is a whole category of analog cars that we might have suddenly people saying, नहीं मेरे को old style car चाहिए जिसमें एक भी computer नहीं हो, मेरे को पुराने वाले कार चाहिए, just for keeping me private. I don't want anyone to know where I'm going. Right now, every time you drive your car company knows where you're going. You know that, right? My Audi is reporting constantly to the Audi workshop where I am. I cannot switch that GPS off. I have to fucking hack the whole car. They always know where I am. There is no escape. Did you know? I didn't know that. Now I know.
Auto Zindabad.
Huh? Auto. Auto. Yeah, I think the analog है, fully analog है. But auto वाले को पता है तुम्हारे वाले. And that's more dangerous.
But before we end this topic, this is digressing, of course. I think it was a terrible tragedy what happened with Charlie Kirk actually in this case. And I think since we are constantly talking about free speech, it seems like such a direct attack, at least to me, on somebody who appeared to be for debating.
Yeah.
On open platforms, and how he did that can be debated. You know, whether you liked the way he did it, not liked it, or what he talked about, whether you appreciated, not appreciated. But it was open dialogue.
It was open dialogue, and I think he was the only person who was so properly following it. That debate is the way in civilized society to settle your differences. There is no other option. That the only great thing about Charlie Kirk that nobody can deny is this, that he was the only person in modern time who clearly showed that the only way to do this is debate. There are no other formats. Like in India, constantly we are seeing the opposition in India, particularly the opposition, say things like, no, when courts are not giving you justice, when election commission is not giving you proper fair elections, people have to take to the streets. Farmers have to block the roads to get the farm law repealed. That's not what's supposed to happen in a democracy. Protest does not have to be like that. Protest should be in the form of debate. You have a farmer representative come in, you have a government person come in, ask for a public debate, everyone gathers, no tractors required, gather in Pragati Maidan and fucking do it in public. Do public debates and settle it. And then you be prepared to lose. See, there is no point of then you say, no, but मेरे को तो यही करना है. नहीं होगा. जो हार जाएगा debate, and that is our culture. This is how Shankaracharya got so-called Hinduism, Sanatani Dharma, back in India from the Buddhists. They lost the fucking debate. He started from south and he went all the way to the north and everybody fucking lost. And it is brilliant how he did it. And Charlie Kirk was not the first guy to do it. So
No, but I'm saying for him to be able to do it in the current environment.
No, that's what I'm saying. He was the only guy who was standing up for that. Because abhi kya believe ho gaya hai ki particularly, and it's a disease from the left, that they will take to the streets and they will do arson and breaking, because the communism has always shown a violent revolution. Mao Zedong was violent, Lenin was violent. Take any communist, Che Guevara, whom I idolized as a kid, violent. Everybody is violent. Hamare yahan Naxals, violent. Without violence, there can be no revolution. What a fucking lie is that? And with Gandhiji also, civil disobedience is the only way to do it. Why? Why was there no debate? A non-violent like Mr. Gandhi should have been promoting debate. कि भाई चर्चिल को बुलाओ, डिबेट करते हैं, बताता हूं तुमको क्यों कॉलोनाइजेशन रॉन्ग है. डिबेट हार गया तो तू हार गया. ऑक्सफोर्ड में तो उनके यहां डिबेट का सिस्टम है. It's not as the English did not have a debate system. Why didn't we do it, settle it through debate? We have not done it. People are always fighting wars. Why can't Russia and Ukraine settle it in a debate? Why is it only in college campuses? Because you know what has happened? People have stopped losing in a debate. Can you have a sports game in which you eliminate defeat? Like school में अभी हम लोगों ने eliminate कर दिया, बच्चों को marks नहीं मिलेगा, कोई fail नहीं होगा. उससे psychologically impact होता है. कौन बेवकूफ बच्चा psychologically impact होता है fail होने से? रोज बच्चे गिरते हैं, तो that means तो when the child is trying to walk, it should never fall because he will be psychologically impacted. Oh my God, I fell. मुझे चोट लग गई.
नहीं, वो पेरेंट के रिएक्शन से साइकोलॉजिकली अफेक्ट होता है कि मेरा बेटा करेक्ट शर्म आनी चाहिए तुम्हें.
हाँ करेक्ट. द रियल
उस ग्रेड से कुछ नहीं हुआ है.
करेक्ट. तो शेम से हुआ है, ग्रेड से तो कुछ नहीं हुआ है. तो ग्रेड क्यों नहीं दे रहे हो? मम्मी पापा को सिखाओ टू हैंडल फेलियर इंस्टेड ऑफ रिमूविंग फेलियर फ्रॉम लाइफ. यू शुड फेल. You fucking did badly. You should come to know. You should be removed from that class and not torture the other fucking smart kids with.
But I think for me, the biggest, what I feel so saddened by is that this very large number of people who are constantly and overtly talking about free speech are not being able to see that this is probably in current times the biggest attack on that.
Yeah, I mean, no, you had. I mean, you didn't have it on camera. Salman Rushdie.
Oh wow! Oh yes.
Salman Rushdie, and the guy has lost what, one eye, right? What has he lost? One eye. One eye has lost now. So I mean, 30 years protect करके finally उसको मारा ही उन्होंने. So it's not that Charlie Hebdo, and again Charlie. That's what Minal was saying. Geez, Charlie name is dangerous. But Charlie Hebdo, the cartoonist.
Yeah.
They died. So this is just Even more insane because the guy was debating when he was killed.
Seriously,
That
he
is
was
insane.
with a mic. He was with a mic.
With a-
No,
the
but
mic.
you know, there are the counter narrative that people are making is that he was violent with his words. I mean,
That's the biggest joke. That's what.
You
That's
know,
why debate is there. That's why debate is there.
I mean, here is that what you're talking about definition, right? I mean, people are completely
Off the rocks.
screwing up the definition of violence.
Yeah. I think my daughter also wrote it, and when my daughter was about 13 years old, I wrote a book called For the Class of 2010. Because you know, India mein there was the 2010 year is a very big demographic differential year. From then on, the country has more young people than old people. 2010 is the demarcation year, and that will continue till 2060. Where there will be more young people than old people. Young people being everyone below the age of 30, less than 30-year-old. In fact, in 2014, we reached a stage where there were more people less than 25. Now it has increased to 28, but it will now pretty much stay there only. It will keep swinging. By 2060, it will be less than 35, but still very young. So I wrote a book for definitions of things, very small. It's like a handbook for teenagers to understand. Usme ye point tha debate ka, and it's very crazy that when Charlie Kirk ka thing happened, there was a very key line in that. When you stopped admitting defeat in debates, and you keep getting out of a debate saying, nahi, main to sahi hu, even though your arguments have lost, you keep doing it, then people pick up a gun, and the only way to settle debates will be through guns. So that's what happened to Charlie. Charlie was debating, but the other side is not willing to debate. You see anyone in the left trying to debate? There is no debate. Rahul Gandhi goes, I mean, in the absence of a word, he is the left in India. He goes up and does a press conference about the election commission, but he does not wish to have a dialogue with the election commission. The election commission is asking him, come in with all of this stuff and talk to us. Complain it, come talk to us, come to the commission and talk. Go to court. He doesn't want another side. A side that keeps saying Narendra Modi does not have any press conferences. But a press conference is not really a dialogue. The real dialogue is when you are talking to another person. So parliament mein bolna, tu idhar kyun bol raha hai? Why are you doing a press conference? You are a leader of opposition in the parliament. Why are you not raising it inside parliament? Why are you not presenting this entire thesis in parliament? Parliament is supreme. Parliament is over the election commission. So why the fuck are you not going? You are not some disempowered college boy who is going and doing a press conference trying to attract it. You are the leader of opposition. But you are not prepared to debate. What do the opposition do in parliament? Are they debating? How much debate is happening in the parliament? What is the parliament? The parliament has been created for what? Parliament, the word means gathering of people to talk. So, are they talking? And is anybody losing in parliament? Is anybody saying, oh fuck, yeah? Anybody conceding? In a debate you have to concede. That boss, you are right, sorry. I didn't win this one. You can come back. It's a 5-year term. Just because you lose one thing and you concede, it does not mean all the things. Tomorrow you could be winning. That's the whole point of democracy. But if you can't have that, and this is what Charlie Kirk was trying to tell, ki, dude, whatever differences you have, there is no other method of settling it. You cannot keep walking away saying I am right when you are lost. Because it's like sports, it's like boxing, it's like everything. Guns come out when the debates are not getting settled. If nobody is conceding, then how will you concede? I'll have to take you out of the game, right? If my side is believing that no, you don't have the right to debate me, that side believes that the left is the only correct thing. Everything else is wrong. They are not willing to debate. They are not willing to
Even
debate.
the right is not right.
No, right is wrong.
Only
The
left is right.
Right wing is a gali for them. Right wing is a gali for them. Right wing matlab hate, matlab fully. They are calling you Hitler.
Yeah.
No, you're not Hitler. comparing Charlie Kirk to Hitler is insane. Which debate did Hitler want to do? There was no debate.
In fact, he wanted to exterminate the enemy, right?
Exactly. So fascism is wanting to exterminate your enemy. The only people keep blaming America, उसने यहाँ interfere कर दिया, वहाँ interfere कर दिया, ये war में चला गया वो. But पहले देखो war कौन से war में अमेरिका को जाना पड़ा? How did it all start? Second World War, America was not entering. They जबरदस्ती attacked America and got them in. And who got them in? The fascists. To beat the fascists who are not willing to debate, America had to enter the war. Next war America entered was Korea. What happened in Korea? You still got North Korea in front of you. Do you want North Koreas in the world? Nobody had the ability after the Second World War. सबके पैसे खत्म हो गए थे, अमेरिका के अलावा किसी को बचा ही नहीं था ability. They tried to intervene. Korean War हुआ, they saved a part of Korea. But another part of Korea became they still don't have free speech. They don't have democracy. They don't have any they're all like servants of that one guy. That's their life. Entire lot of people and the whole world just moves around as if North Korea is okay to have. You cannot have North Korea, man. Okay, so America fought that war. What is the next war they got into? Vietnam. What happened in Vietnam? They were trying to create exactly this. Another North Korea there. So they had to enter if America had not entered the war, even after entering, America could not beat them completely. And same thing like Korea happened. A part of Vietnam was communist. We have a fucking road in Calcutta in the honor of that communist bastard. Ho Chi Minh Street it is called. And they put the American embassy on that to insult America. The communist government in Bengal forced the American embassy को to have जिस street पे था उस street का नाम change करके हो ची मिन street कर दिया. जो वियतनाम में जिसके साथ war कर रहा था अमेरिका. Every time a letter would come, it will be an insult to you. Can you believe it? I feel like so. That's how how petty can you be? And the poor Americans had no choice. What could they do? So America had to enter everywhere because of that. Till the Iraq war, the first time it was completely forget about all the regime changes and all that they have done or not done. But I'm saying open war. Every time they have entered is to counter these assholes who are against freedom of speech. It's not as if even in Iraq, Saddam Hussein was not like the greatest champion of freedom of speech, right? Neither is Iran, again another enemy of America. Take Iran. Are they like really for freedom of speech and democracy? Not really, right? Venezuela, they're bombed. People are getting worried about America bombing Venezuela. Should you be worried about America bombing Venezuela? Do you want to be Venezuela? A country which had a per capita income of more than $12,000 reduced to $3,000 in less than one generation, in 10-15 years by communism. Horrendous. They have oil. There is no reason for Venezuela to be poor. Communism has reduced them to that. They have no freedom of speech there. Anybody who talks to the government, they get shot. So, उनको बॉम्ब करने में तकलीफ किसको हो रहा है? दो के डिबेट करने आने वाले? वेनेजुएला वाला कोई डिबेट करता है क्या? तो जो डिबेट नहीं करने को तैयार है, उसको क्या करना पड़ेगा? कोई रास्ता नहीं है ना? So that's a different point. But within the country, they have enough freedom of speech. They do have, and that's why Charlie Kirk was important because he was trying to bring that thing. He had lots of points of views which were absolute horrendous. He had lot of points of views about Indians which was terrible. Okay, not at all good. But he wanted to still debate. He didn't say, "Chalo Indians ko maar dete." That's not what he was saying. Right? He was debating it. He was debating that all immigration is bad. Legal, non-legal. You stay in your country, I stay in my country. Why the fuck do you want to come to my country? Very simple. You want to come and study here, I understand that. Study and go back to your country. Don't fucking live here. Right? I want to preserve my country ka ethos. Outsiders coming changes the ethos. I don't want it. Because I don't think your countries are as good. Every time somebody comes, you bring your ethos to this place becomes less. Now, you may not agree with it, but he was debating that and he was putting his points to it. You should put your points to it. It would have been great to see Vivek and Charlie debate. They have debated also. So I don't think the left wants to do that. You don't see Barack Obama wanting to engage in a debate with Donald Trump, with the complete fear that he is going to lose. They only debate themselves. Did Kamala Harris win a debate against Donald Trump? Was she able to win? इतना मजाक उड़ाते हैं Donald Trump का, लेकिन if Donald Trump is that stupid, then shouldn't you have been able to beat him in a debate? Not possible. Neither had Joe Biden managed to beat. They fucking rigged the election and won. I mean, and all of it is now public, how they had rigged the election. But I mean, now you can't go back and change anything. Then they blamed the other side of a coup, Jan 6. Remember Jan 6? So it's like जबरदस्ती का करने के लिए करते रहेंगे वो लोग. यहाँ भी वैसे करते. कितना हुआ farmer protest? How many did we have? Shaheen Bagh. How many? CAA protest. अभी भी he is continuously calling for people. People want India में नेपाल जैसा कुछ हो जाए. Now, what kind of people like that Nepal thing? What happened? What kind of human beings like what happened in Nepal? Is that a good thing that happened? But by the way, that privacy के point में नेपाल में क्या हुआ? They banned entire social media. And what did they use? The kids used social media only to bring the government down. Discord, they just went to another social media. Government banned 5 or 6, forgot to ban 1. Because that was not really a social media, that is a gaming ka platform, Discord. The gamers talk to each other in Discord. So they just use Discord. They use Discord. The entire Nepal thing happened on Discord. It's like the greatest ad for Discord ever. The whole thing happened on Discord. The Prime Minister was chosen on Discord. New Prime Minister was chosen on Discord. Because the kids voted, 100,000 kids voted for this Prime Minister. Literally, the army asked, choose, and they chose on Discord. So, technology. The kids use technology to beat the government which tried to use technology to suppress them. So it is not it is a only good thing about the Nepal thing is this, that people can respond to governments with technology and fuck the shit out of them. If the army stays out, it is. Once the guns come out, then there is nothing. No technology. We still don't have, once the personal drones come and personal devices come, then the army will not be able to do that to you. Right? So which is why they will block it as far as possible, but finally people will get, because anybody will assemble those. इतने सस्ते में बनेगा, 3D printer से बन जाएगा, वो आ ही रहा है, कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता. We are moving to a more transparent, more fair, more free world, and what you are seeing, this Charlie Kirk incident, all kinds of incidents that you will see in a few years, but they will be all leading to more freedom and more power for the people. There is no going back into the 16th century. Nobody is getting. There is no fascism coming. They will try. They will have stopgaps like those COVID kind of things, जिसमें आपके सारे rights चले जाएंगे. COVID में we didn't have any rights. Did we have any rights when we had COVID? People didn't realize that. COVID was an undeclared emergency, right? They didn't tell you that there is a martial law in our country. But COVID was bigger than a martial law, right? You are locked inside your house, you can't come out. And nobody objected to it. If they had said emergency लगा रहे country में सब आ जाते थे रोड पे. But emergency था वो. और emergency से ज़्यादा खतरनाक था. इमरजेंसी में भी किसी को बोला नहीं था कि तुम घर से नहीं आ सकते हो, अपना बिजनेस नहीं कर सकते हो, काम नहीं कर सकते हो, जॉब छोड़ देना पड़ेगा सबको. अगर सरकार ने ऐसा किया अनाउंसमेंट, सबको अपना अपना जॉब छोड़ना पड़ेगा, तो लोग राइट करते थे. लेकिन बोला कि अब सब अपने अपने घर चले जाओ, तो चले गए लोग. किसी ने राइट नहीं किया. इसी ने नेपाल जैसा कुछ नहीं किया कोविड के ड्यूरिंग. अब सोशल मीडिया बंद कर दिया तो लोगों ने राइट कर दिया, और काम नहीं मिलेगा, पैसा नहीं मिलेगा, बिजनेस बंद कर दो, किसी ने कुछ नहीं किया. नेपाल में भी नहीं हुआ था तभी. नो वन ऑब्जेक्टेड टू इट, राइट? बिकॉज यू फेल फॉर इट. बिलीव कर लिया आपने. जैसे कभी जो बोलते हैं ना, अपर कास्ट ने लोअर कास्ट को बहुत एक्सप्लॉइट किया है, बट वो गन पॉइंट पे नहीं किया है. उनको एक स्टोरी बोला, वो उन्होंने मान लिया. अब देखो यार, उसका क्या कर सकते हैं. जैसे अभी इट्स पीपल्स फॉल्ट ना दैट वी बिलीव्ड इन कोविड एंड वी से एक्सेप्टेड. गवर्नमेंट नेवर गेव यू अ लॉ अंडर विच लॉकडाउन वाज डिक्लेयर्ड. देयर इज नो लॉ फॉर लॉकडाउन. अंडर विच लॉ डिड दे डिक्लेयर द लॉकडाउन? They declared the lockdown in a natural disaster law. But COVID is not a natural disaster. Which earthquake or natural disaster definition है? It has to be an earthquake or a tsunami or that kind of thing. Infectious disease उसमें है ही नहीं. But no one went to the court. If you tried to go to the court told, I tried to go to the court. The court said 12 लाख का फाइन लगाएंगे. आओ ही मत कोर्ट में. हम भी बहुत डरे हुए हैं. Supreme Court. This is fucking from the Supreme Court. Do not bring such a thing because we'll have to decide on that. We don't want to decide. Because right now we don't know what the fuck is happening. बैठो अपने घर पे. इतने डरे हुए थे. We don't know what is happening.
So now, since we are talking about governments getting away with giving a story, what about government intervention in temples?
Yeah,
The story that they are weaving that nahi, hame we have to take care of it for so and so falana reason or
कुछ नहीं.
whatever.
There only one reason, that is
They're making money from them.
no, there was only one reason. I mean, I don't know. You have a theory on this? Why the government interferes in temples?
I haven't been paying attention.
So essentially, the temples are the only religious sites which are still under government control. That means they can decide
Who runs the temple?
who runs the temple, how the money of the temple will be managed.
All the temples are run by a trust. All the trusts are appointed by the government. So Siddhivinayak temple, all the money that comes in, how that will be regulated, how it will expand, how it will not expand, who will get in, who will not get out, everything is determined by the government.
Essentially, they're deciding how it will be run, how a temple will be run.
Every temple in India.
Any temple.
Every temple.
And they use that, or they just appoint trusts which are unbiased and so on.
Does the government ever appoint anyone unbiased? So I'll give you an example. I hope I don't get into trouble for it and I don't lose my access to Siddhivinayak temple for saying this, but anyway. So Siddhivinayak temple, if you want to get in at any time and all that, you have to know the political party in control of that trust. So when Shiv Sena was in control of that, I didn't know anyone. But now that NCP is control of it, I know someone. So I continue to get into Siddhivinayak temple whenever I want. Okay. So it's like that. So it is not unbiased at all. Right. So it depends on who's running it.
So my question was, should that happen? Should government have any say in how a religious institution is run, except again, like we talked about privacy, that no activity of crime, no criminal activity is happening.
No, so like the government did enter the Golden Temple when there was a crime going on there. So
They broke in. That was a different.
I mean, they were running sexual rackets in the Golden Temple at that time. So the government was very right.
Yeah.
They were very right.
So
to
unless
get in.
that, except for that.
But the Golden
does
Temple is not
government-
run by the government. Golden Temple, Sikh institutions are not run by the government.
No.
Only Hindu institutions.
Hindu temples. Okay, yeah, okay.
Temple means Hindu.
temples. Yeah, okay.
So I think other countries also do that, where in Germany, in the UK.
No. Separation of secularism, dude. Separation of church and state. So there is that's the definition of secularism.
Yeah.
The separation of church and state. So obviously the state does not run any church. No, nobody runs any church. Oh yeah, China runs. China runs all the churches in China. China runs all the but China runs everything. China runs the mosques. China runs the Buddhist temples. That's why Dalai Lama is in India, because China runs the Tibet, including their highest thing. China says ये Dalai Lama, ये नहीं ये Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama कौन है वो भी China decide करता है. मतलब China में पोप की नहीं चलती. China में Catholic churches are there, in which the priests are appointed by the Chinese Communist Party, which does not believe in God, which is fucking insane, right? But they want to appoint.
But what do you think?
So it'd be like companies even, where privatize and get out of the business of government is not business. Yeah, separated. But it's a negotiation that society decides.
No, so first of all, India is a secular country. So it says in the constitution that we are secular. If you are secular, then there has to be separation of church and state.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's why in India we avoid any direct gods references in parliament, in anywhere. We try to stay away from that, right? That they do. But in this one matter, they passed a law, parliament passed a law because Mr. Nehru wanted it passed, and he took control of the temples. And obviously he didn't take control of the minority organizations because his fear was not about the minority organizations. Should it have been, should it have not been, that's a separate matter, but he was not afraid of the minority organizations. He was afraid of the temples because of the amount of money that Hindus put into temples. He knew, and back then India did not, the government did not have as much money as it does today. So the temple money has not grown as fast as the government's budget has grown. But at that time, if you take the amount of gold that the temples had, the amount of money that used to pour into the temples was not too shabby. So he believed that if they are running independently, they'll become a much bigger power center than the government itself. And people, because Indians are very religious, will follow the diktats of the priests. They'll become political power. So the government could have stayed out of the temples, but the temples would not have stayed out of the government. This was the fear, which is why they were always tried to run down RSS, all Hindu organizations, because they were afraid, because India is 80% Hindu. So if the, and we are very religious. So if, unlike Muslims, who are less in number, and even if a Muslim is listening to a mullah, this was Nehru, I am not saying this is my theory, I am saying Nehru's theory. If say 10% of India was Muslim at that time, and 10% of those people start listening to mullahs, there will still be a 1% of India. And 99% of India will be able to take care of those 1% if they create too much problem. But if 80% of Hindus, even if 10% of them become radicalized by the temples, then that will be a large number and it will be impossible to control. Now, was he right? Was he wrong? Now we will never find out, because historically Hindus have not behaved like that, right? भड़काने से politically भड़कते नहीं है. That is not the way Hindus have ever run. So he didn't have any historic precedent for it. It was just a fear. It was a fear because of partition उन्होंने देखा, तो सबकी partition देख के फट गई. अब क्यों partition हुआ, किसने क्या किया, वो तो अलग ही मैटर है. आप बंगाल फाइल्स भी देख सकते हो, उसको गालियाँ भी दे सकते हो, जो भी कर सकते, कश्मीर फाइल्स भी देख सकते हो. But he took a call that I need to control these institutions, because this is where more money is pouring in. This is where the priest will become too powerful, and the priest will meddle in politics, and then politics in India will be infected with this, and that's why he did it. But as we have seen now, about 60-70 years from then, that has erupted anyway. Right? More you bottle it up, all the injustices that has been done to the temples. Government has mismanaged the funds, which is always going to be done. Anything government touches, it will mismanage. So temple funds भी mismanage किया है. Temple में all kind of temples की हालत खराब हो गई है.
Yeah, a lot of idols, very important and
गायब हो गए कितने?
They were just disappeared.
Disappeared हो गए. आइडल की तस्करी हो गई. बहुत कुछ हुआ. बहुत सोना यहाँ वहाँ हो गया. इतने tons and tons of सोना थे. वो सोना आज है नहीं है, किसी को नहीं पता है भी कि नहीं. कहाँ गायब कर दिया? Politicians ने उसको हाथ लगा दिया.
I mean, not that in private management things couldn't have happened, but
correct.
The point is, should the government be involved,
जिसका temple
especially in
है,
a secular country, as you
correct.
call it? हाँ.
जिसका टेम्पल है उसका राइट है भाई, वो करे. तो उसके और उसके डिवोटीज का मैटर है. जो लोग वहाँ शिरडी में जो लोग जा रहे हैं और शिरडी में जो लोग चला रहे हैं, उनका आपस का मामला है. सरकार को उससे क्या लेना देना. इफ देयर इज अ स्टैम्पीड दैट हैपेंस, देन सरकार कैन ले डाउन रूल्स कि भाई ऐसे करके मैनेज करो. But they cannot literally run the place. But they have done so, and now it's being challenged, and I think they will lose because they can't do it. Yes, because you are a secular country. Challenge ही नहीं था ना. People kept fighting for a Ram temple, but even at that time nobody fought properly for this. कि भाई ये क्या है? जो temple है वो उसमें हम लोग क्यों नहीं चला रहे? तो wrong ही है, मतलब it is completely wrong. It has nobody can defend it. कि saying it is correct. But I know why he did it, and that fear is, and the people who say that no, he was totally wrong to have this fear, they cannot go back in time and prove it. It could have been, because we are a religious country.
I mean, Vatican in itself has become, has historically also has always been extremely strong in that sense, in its power over, over a lot of nations, and then
it doesn't really have power over nations. It has power over the churches, but the churches have not really responded to it, I mean, Vatican is a power. It has a lot of power over people's minds, but Vatican के बोलने से कुछ होता नहीं है ऐसा as such.
No, I'm saying maybe not today, but I'm saying there have been
historically.
There have been, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying-
Before democracies became, before secularism took form, monarchy के time पे तो चलता ही था ना. If you are a Catholic king, you had to listen to the Vatican. ये तो डेमोक्रेसी आया उसके बाद उन्होंने ये रूल्स बनाए कि भाई सेकुलरिज्म रहेगा, चर्च अपना होगा, स्टेट अपना होगा, रिलीजन एंड पॉलिटिक्स शुड नॉट मिक्स, व्हिच इज अ ग्रेट आइडिया. इट्स अ फैंटास्टिक आइडिया. Government should not be in business, government should not be in religion, government should be in the business of governance. Why should it be in anything else? But it was done, and it was done with this fear. Now, are we very religious?
Vatican does fund all the proselytization around the world.
Yes.
And that does change.
Conversion. Vatican funds conversion.
It may not be done in
And it is free to do so in India. There is no government control of that.
Yeah. And that does change the dynamics.
Oh, it
of the
does. It
country.
does. I mean, it
They can't do it in China though. The Chinese government does not allow the Vatican to function in China. The Vatican cannot enter the church there. I told you the church is administered by the communist government who don't believe in the God. But वो priest वो लोग अपॉइंट करते हैं. I don't know if the priest also believes in God. He just sermon देता है चला जाता है. It is like that. I mean, nobody can defend what he did, but we are not in 1951. If we were in 1951 and we had seen the country the way it was poised,
No, but
see,
in
he
today's
wanted
time-
to build a, he
today's-
wanted to build a secular country. He wanted to build a scientific temper. These things you cannot take away from the man. However many mistakes he did, but he set up the IITs. He knew that Indians are more religious than scientific. So he wanted to stir people. If you see he told the film industry in India to never show religion in great light. If you see the films from 1940s से लेके till recently, what do you see? They're very secular. The Hindi films, Bollywood films were the most secular fucking thing you could see. It was prescribed by Mr. Nehru that you have to do so. Do not glamorize religion. So people keep now putting that out, saying that अरे हिंदू रिलीजन को बहुत अंडरमाइन करता था. हिंदू रिलीजन को अंडरमाइन इसलिए करता था कि मैक्सिमम लोग हिंदू है. तो अगर रिलीजन को अंडरमाइन करना है तो और किसको करेगा? हाँ, तो इसलिए जब अमिताभ बच्चन दीवार में ही जाके कुछ बोलता है भगवान को या कोई और कुछ बोलता है, मैक्सिमम हीरोज़ का कोई, जब तक ये सीरियल्स में आरती नहीं होने लगी तब तक कोई मैक्सिमम फिल्मों में कुछ नहीं होता. एक दो सीन होते थे, कहीं कोई मरने वाला होता था तो कोई प्रेयर हो रहा होता था, बट ज़्यादा करके कुछ नहीं होता था. भगवान के बारे में कोई सीन ही नहीं होता था, है ना. तो ये नेहरू जी ने बोला था करने के लिए. एंड मैक्सिमम कैरेक्टर्स वुड बी
786 का तो होता था.
786 का बिल्ला दिखाया. हाँ, वो जावेद अख्तर ने घुसा दिया.
मैं तेरे क्या
बिल्ला 786.
मतलब मैं चढ़ूंगा नहीं, तुम्हारी सीढ़ी नहीं चढ़ूंगा, लेकिन 786 ने मेरी जान बचाई. तो आई एम सेइंग, बट है ना फिर.
No, I know, but see, again, Nehru was dead by then. But I am saying he prescribed it, avoid it. So people avoided it, and we actually built a nice secular country. That is why it did work. Majority of लोगों को तो, अब you can argue that Hindus are by nature secular, करने की जरूरत नहीं थी. But you are not there. You did not see what he saw. He did not see the threat to democracy. One thing you have to see that finally he created a democracy that has survived. No, he was in the first 17 years, right? The democracy has survived. I hate all the things that he did, from mixed economy to it. But I understand his first thing at that time was to preserve the democracy, preserve secularism, preserve scientific temper, to not look at where Pakistan is, look at where Sri Lanka is, look at where Bangladesh is, look at all the Asian countries, including China. Do they have what we have? And who was our first Prime Minister? Who ran it for 17 years? The foundation of this country came from who? For all his flaws, democracy he preserved. He gave us a strong foundation on which today we can criticize him also. If he had fucked up at that time, he erred on the side of, I'm not again justifying, I'm saying it's not justifiable, this temple thing and all the things, lot of things, mixed economy, cannot justify. But he tried to be safe, keep the country safe from the shit that could happen. He did not know at that time if socialism will win or capitalism will win. Now, he should have had the mind to figure which one should win. Morally, he should have known which one morally is correct. But he went practical. He took a bet, if fucking socialism wins, then also India will survive. If capitalism wins, then also India will survive. I'll fucking put a mixed economy. Now, nobody in the world had tried that. He was the first idiot to try it. Idiotic idea, but kept us safe. The moment we got free, we have done really well. We have the IITs. It's not as if we don't have the IITs. या 4 ही बना पाया भाई, लेकिन बनाया ना. आज उसी का खा रहे हैं हम लोग पूरी दुनिया में IIT का. बनाया तो उन्होंने ही ना. You can argue someone else also would have made it. But scientific temper, he kept talking about the scientific temper in speech after speech after speech. We still haven't developed a scientific temper. Can you imagine what the scientific temper must have been like in 1951 when Mr. Nehru was operating? But his biggest flaw was that he didn't trust his own people. He kept thinking कि यार मैं बहुत स्मार्ट हूँ, मैं तो एजुकेटेड हूँ, इंडिया में इतने सारे अनएजुकेटेड हैं, इतने सारे रिलीजियस लोग हैं, इतने सारे क्या बोलते हैं उसको नॉट प्रॉपरली साइंटिफिक टेम्पर के लोग नहीं हैं, तो इन लोगों से यार डेमोक्रेसी चलेगी नहीं. अगर मैंने इतने सारे रूल्स नहीं बना दिए तो ये सब डेमोक्रेसी को डिस्ट्रॉय कर देंगे. तो he didn't have faith in his own people.
More than that, in his own culture, I feel.
Huh?
I think he didn't have faith in his own culture.
No, he had just seen the partition. Dude, we just had the partition where we killed each other like that.
I think
Who would have faith after that? You would have faith? It's very easy to say that today. It is very easy to say that today. I'm saying if you sat there, I don't know what you would have seen.
See, I think a lot of faith comes from seeing, for me, comes from seeing things as they are, rather than seeing them through a certain prism.
Correct.
Okay, so the more you see things as they are, the easier it is to have faith.
Correct.
If I see you for who you are, despite your ideologies or your opinions, it's easier for me to trust you and have faith in you. And I feel personally that for all the goods and everything else, and I think it still exists, and it's a very big burden on most of our heads, is what we call as the colonial mindset, which in a sense, according to me, comes from the church in many ways, and propagates the idea of modern science being above all, to the extent that anyone who is not of modern science or towards it is, for lack of words, barbaric, and doesn't have an alternate, if not better, equally good way of dealing with his own issues as well as societal problems. So, I think that I feel in many ways is the bane of this invasiveness into people. So, for me, temple actually, the Hindu temple represents that. It represents what, because for the word, unfortunately in this case we don't have, when I am saying temple I am meaning mandir, because temple as such comes from the church, right. So the definition of temple is a place of prayer, but mandir is not essentially a place of prayer. It's to the people who actually have faith in it, they believe these are energy centers. These are places where you can take an inanimate object, add a certain kind of life to it, a reverberation where you can be around it and it can change everything about your life without any information exchange.
Correct.
Any intellectual information exchange. Now, for any modern scientific minded, scientific temperament person, this would be bullshit.
Not anymore, they are learning it.
Almost to the extent of being that this is, I am not getting the right word other than barbaric, but you're being
superstitious.
what, I don't know why, what would the English call people who, when natives, they were, I'm forgetting that word, there was a particular word for it. So I think his decision, if at all, for me, if I was to look it from now this prism, it appears more coming from that. It's coming from a misunderstanding of what you have with you.
No,
and trying to impose a certain thought process, which in many ways what you're actually saying actually reflects that it's such a strong temperament that even after such imposition, even after having governments after that which have encouraged scientific temperament on a democratic level also, still it's that other temperament that seems to supersede everything else.
So there are two sides to it. It's like one of the reasons that it has superseded is because of the cultural strength of Sanatan Dharma of thousands of years, and it's impossible to get it out. That's why nobody who has invaded India has been able to take it out. So that's one. That is the part that you are talking about. The another reason that it has survived is because we are fucking feudal. And we are so feudal that it is impossible to take feudal mindset out of us. And we lean to religion in India because we want to keep the feudal part alive.
Will you be able to simplify that?
I'll
What do
tell
mean
you.
by that?
For us, the joint family, for me, the biggest evil of this country is the joint family. The joint family, where the family ka elder decides everything for you. Okay? And it has come down where parents decide everything for the kid. And parampara, which has got nothing to do with the Sanatan Dharma. Parampara is not a fucking good thing at all. कि परंपरा चली आ रही है तो हम ये करेंगे, वो चीज के कारण बची हुई है. It is not because of thinking. Anybody really thinking that it's an energy center and that's why I'm going. What Nehru would have wanted to see, कि people realizing that I am going to the temple because it's an energy center, not because my family goes there. Maximum people do their religious activity in India because the family does it. All religions in India. You don't do it because you have woken up to it or you've got a spiritual. They don't do it as spiritualism. Is Sanatan Dharma spirituality of the highest standard? Yes. The only religion which is like that? Yes. But do we do it like that? Maximum people follow it like a fucking herd, and they do it because their families do it. Not because of anyone. Not even their locality do it. If their family didn't do it, they won't do it. सबसे बड़ा चीज.
Okay.
Maximum vegetarians in India are not vegetarian because they're by thinking they've come to
possible.
Family ने खिलाया vegetarian तो
It's possible.
और बोलेंगे.
No, but then that is proven, right? I mean, food essentially is habit more than choice. Actually, for very few people, food is choice. For most people, it's habit. It's something that you've had from the time you were a child, and therefore you say that this is right because it feels home. It feels home. Basically, a lot of times, what psychologically most people are actually searching for is home. What is familiar.
Correct.
So therefore, food in that sense, I agree. But
I'm saying not only food, in everything. You marry, you continue to have arranged marriages in India. It's an absolutely undemocratic bullshit thing. A person can't make his choice of his own partner means what? What freedom does he have? What freedom of speech? What freedom of speech do we practice at home? नहीं मेरे पापा के सामने मैं कुछ नहीं बोल सकता हूँ. अरे भाई ये क्या चुतिया है? What the fuck is that? अपने बाप के सामने अगर तुम खुल के नहीं बात कर सकते तो कहाँ करोगे? पर इंडिया में तो बाप के सामने बाप के सामने सिगरेट नहीं पी सकता. बाप के सामने सिगरेट क्यों नहीं पी? समझ में आता है 12 साल के एज में नहीं पी सकते हो भाई क्योंकि गलत है. 25 साल के एज में क्यों नहीं पी सकते हो बाप के सामने? क्या हो गया? तुम अपना कमा रहे हो, अपना खा रहे हो? नहीं, क्योंकि बाप के साथ ही रहना है. सो ये चीज नेहरू ने देखा एंड ही फकिंग हेटेड इट. He hated feudalism more than anything else. And another thing I'll tell you why he thought. Boss, after everything else, this fucking civilization was in a defeated stage. Defeated. We were defeated for 1,000 years. Everybody had come and defeated this, right? We can say our gurukuls were great, but they are fucking defeated. Or everything we lost. Why? Because somebody else invented guns. We did not. Every invention had stopped happening in India. All our science was taken outside and people did better stuff with it than we did. Nobody invented the fucking engine in India. Nobody invented one scientific thing in India. Your knowledge is supposed to make your life better, not worse. People's lives were in shit. Poverty had reached you can say British took it out, but British को लेने क्यों दिया आपने? If you are the advanced civilization, you are supposed to protect your people. Your civilization was not able to protect anyone. Your रूढ़ीवाद, जिसको रूढ़ीवाद बोलते हैं, रूढ़ीवादी बन के हमने अपना साइंस डिस्ट्रॉय कर लिया. Who saying India was not scientific? सनातन धर्म was very scientific. भाई आर्यभट्ट के टाइम पे तो सब हम लोग ही थे. Nobody in the world was able to beat us. बट जैसे जैसे आपका साइंटिफिक टेम्पर ही था, जो सनातन धर्म, जो एनर्जी सेंटर बता रहे हो आप, वो बना क्यों था? क्योंकि वो हाई साइंस था. वो साइंस को भूल के जब आप यू डू इट लाइक ट्रेडिशन, देन यू आर फकिंग लॉस्ट. You are not doing the temple right. The temples had become shit. They were not the same temples. People are going there out of just blind superstition. People were not going there as an energy center. People are going anywhere. Any Tom, Dick and Harry रोड पे कुछ खड़ा कर दिया, उसको भी प्रेयर करने लगे. That's what we became. Everything is not a temple. यार, just because you put some idol there and you start praying there and doing आरती, it doesn't become an energy center. उसको consecrate करना पड़ता है. There's a high science to it. Everybody can't do it. Everybody tried doing it. 500 हजारों हनुमान टेम्पल बना दिया आपने. कुछ भी कर रहे हो. आप देख रहे हो ना कैसे है. 18th century, 19th century में if you saw what was happening.
But that is part and parcel of any faith being practiced. I mean,
so he was against all faiths. It's not as if he promoted. He was not trying to promote Christianity as such, but he left it alone because there are very few Christians in India. उसके पीछे पड़ के उसको क्या मिलता? He tried to actually uplift. Also understand this. That forced the Hindus to go towards science. How many scientists have Muslims produced and Christians produced in India? How many scientists has Hindus produced? It resulted, no? It resulted in the Hindus becoming stronger. It resulted in the Hindus spreading all around the world. It resulted in our armed forces being scientific. Our armed forces are not religion-led. So, lot of things have happened because of that. And if I can go inside his mind and also see, if he on the other hand believed the same way that Sanatan Dharma is strong enough, he would have known that 40 years में Sanatan Dharma अपने आप आ जाएगा. अभी हमको जरूरत है इस कंट्री को एक डायरेक्शन में ले जाना ताकि ये सिंक करके वापस बहादुर शाह जफर वाले टाइम पे ना चला जाए. We lost the war of 1857. Why did we lose it? We mounted a whole offensive against the British. Our Indians were only in the British army. They only fought against us and they beat us. Because have you seen who was fighting? Bahadur Shah Zafar. Bahadur Shah Zafar can fight a war. We say Lakshmi Bai haar gayi and we glorify Jhansi ki Rani ko bahut tarah se. But did she fight a good war? Did she have enough weapons? Did she have any scientists? Did she have anybody making anything? Tipu Sultan fought a war there. You know what he used? He used the French. Tipu Sultan ka kuch nahi tha apna. He used the French technology to fight the British. And he got thoda success mila usko. If you don't have technology, you can't win wars. So, scientific temper तो चाहिए ना. तुम्हारे religion में भी तुमको scientific temper चाहिए. याद कराना पड़ेगा.
But say essentially.
But he could have tried. What you are saying is
essentially what I mean. That's the thing, right? I think it's important to understand that we as a civilization need scientific temper only for deterrence.
No, even for our own religion, we need the scientific temper. No, to understand what you
we
just
don't,
said.
Because see, that's the point. That's the thing. So
to know that that's an energy center, that's a big difference between going and praying in front of a thing just because my family takes me to mandir every day, or
no,
to
but
know,
that can
like
be a starting
way,
point. See, that can be what I'm trying to say is that not every
at least
I'm
at some point.
No, but I'm saying, and it happens for a lot. I'm saying not every child knows what the value of education is going to be. But the parents says नहीं तुम्हें जाना पड़ेगा 10 साल के लिए. और वो जाता है
secular, which is okay. Dharma is not secular. Dharma can completely infect your mind and make you a stupid person if you don't know the science behind it. If Ramakrishna Paramahansa is not teaching you, Ramakrishna Paramahansa will produce Vivekanand and 10 others who are going to be all of high order. Ramakrishna Paramahansa का कोई भी चेला फालतू कैटेगरी का नहीं है. पर अगर लोकल का कोई महंत होगा, मंदिर चलाने वाला पंडित, उसका चेला लोग एब्सोल्यूट बकवास निकल सकते हैं. हाई क्वालिटी होना चाहिए ना. आपको कौन सिखा रहा है वो इंपॉर्टेंट है. अभी जैसे हमारे कौन है वो बागेश्वर धाम सरकार. बागेश्वर धाम सरकार को फॉलो करने से आप साइंटिफिक चीजें नहीं सीखने वाले. तो नेहरू वाज अफ्रेड ऑफ बागेश्वर धाम सरकार काइंड ऑफ पीपल. देयर वर थाउजेंड्स ऑफ दोज इन हिज टाइम. They could have hijacked. You can see what happens when people like that hijack. Thousands of people start following them without doing anything. You can have a mad mob of religious bigots who have no clue. Bageshwar Dham Sarkar is giving speeches about politics. Should he be doing speeches about politics? Should he be talking anything outside his spiritual domain? Why is he talking?
But he's also a citizen. I mean, why shouldn't he have
Religion and politics should be separate. Just like politics should not go into religion, religion should not comment on politics. You can talk about temple. If he's talking about only the temple issue, I'm fine. Why is he talking about politics? What has he got to do with India or Pakistan?
both,
Ka kya hona
I'm
chahiye?
saying he's both, right? He may be a religious
No,
leader,
he
but
can't.
he's
You
also-
can't be. That is what secularism means. You can't be practicing both. You can't be the head of a religious organization and comment on politics. You should not be. Unless you are being oppressed. You are not being oppressed. You are in a Hindu country. You are free. You are running your place. Nobody is stopping you. If you comment on कि मेरे को करने नहीं दे रही सरकार, वो सब करो आप. India Pakistan relationship पे आपको बोलने की क्या जरूरत है? Who are you to talk about that? Then give up that and come into politics. So, like,
No, but then that would-
Yogi has come
but
in,
that- but
Yogi
that-
has left.
but that
Yogi
would-
has stopped being a Mahant and come into politics.
No, but
I'm okay
that
with
would-
that.
But that would be the case for any citizen in India,
What?
right? I mean, why should anyone have the right?
Religion is different. No, religion is a separate class. Religion is a separate class because religion invites blind following. Everything else में blind following मिलता नहीं है ना. अब of course उसको भी मिलता है. Elvis को मिलता है blind following. Elvis can get blind following.
I don't.
What else get blind following? क्रिकेटर्स को भी नहीं मिलेगा भाई.
No, but-
जैसा ब्लाइंड फॉलोइंग बागेश्वर धाम
नहीं,
सरकार को
आप-
मिलेगा,
but-
विराट कोहली को
नहीं,
मिलेगा
but-
क्या?
But when you're talking about
कि विराट कोहली ने बोला और मैं कुछ भी करने को तैयार हो जाऊंगा, करोगे क्या आप?
नहीं, but when you're giving an example of the establishing of Sanatan by a person who did not get blind following, that he had to debate it
सनातन को
from.
किसी ने एस्टैब्लिश किया?
नहीं,
किसने किया पता भी नहीं है.
नहीं, आप कह रहे हैं ना अगर
शंकराचार्य, he revived it.
But I'm saying that has been the bane of this culture.
What?
Debate. I'm saying the faith has been passed on through debate, through question and answers. I mean, whether you talk
About
about
spiritual matters, not about state matters. Shankaracharya was not debating anyone about politics.
Nee, why not? I mean,
was not.
No, but I'm saying all your kings and everybody had your.
But we are not in a monarchy anymore.
I know.
So-
but what I'm trying to say is that
Monarchy mein there is one person following a guru. Now, we cannot have monarchy. That we are all agreed on. We want to live in a democratic society where everybody has free choice.
No, but I'm not saying that they have to advise the government. But I'm saying they should have the ability to express their point of view as
As
a
an
citizen,
individual.
As an individual.
But they are not doing that. No, they are actually talking to their follower to believe in the same thing. He is not talking as an individual. कि मेरे को
No,
लगता
but
है ये
I'm
मेरा
saying,
opinion
today,
है.
I'm saying today even Virat Kohli has 30 million followers.
He has, but what is he telling? Is he
So
commenting
if-
on
if-
India-Pakistan
no, but
relations?
I'm saying if he
But
does,
if
if
he
he
has
does,
a
then you'll say no.
No,
because
I'm-
they're just
even-
crazy about
no.
cricket and
But-
they just
but-
follow.
but
They think
anybody
he's-
who follows
or
Virat, that's
Sachin Tendulkar is god of cricket and they
But
follow
will they
him
do
and
anything? Will they do anything outside cricket for those people? विराट कोहली से वो मैच देखने आ जाओ, हो सकता है आ जाए मैच देखने. बट विराट कोहली के कहने से कुछ सोशल लाइफ में, पॉलिटिकल लाइफ में कुछ करेगा वो? विराट कोहली बोलेगा कि ऐसा कर लो भाई तो कर लेगा वो. विराट कोहली बोलेगा कि भाई तुम ऐसे आदमी के साथ शादी मत करो तो कर लेगा. बागेश्वर धाम सरकार अगर बोलेंगे तो आदमी अपना जिंदगी का पार्टनर भी उस हिसाब से चुनेगा.
अगर ऐसा नहीं होता तो फिर बाडमाई सिंह, अजय देवगन जी, शाहरुख जी को इनको आप गुटखा का वो एडवर्टीजमेंट करने के लिए क्यों बोलते हैं?
बोलते हैं, बट कितने आदमी गुटखा खाते हैं उनको देख के?
नहीं, मैं कह रहा हूँ
There is no proof that people actually consume gutka because those people are there.
I'm saying the whole.
Because I think
the
that
whole point
Rajnikanda or whatever, one most famous gutka that has been there for the longest time, उसका तो कोई नहीं है
But the
ऐसा.
whole basis of advertisement is that, right? Advertising is that, right?
That gutka का advertisement-
You're using one brand in order to push your brand,
But
right?
गुटखा का advertisement में there are lot of other issues. गुटखा का advertisement उन लोगों से क्यों कराते हैं, क्यों गुटखा वालों को उनके साथ एसोसिएट होना रहता है, वो एक बुरा ही है. गुटखा कितने लोग खाते हैं उसका गारंटी नहीं है. गुटखा का मैं मतलब I know a friend of mine who was asked to be a marketing consultant of a gutka company, and that's how I realized this. Okay, maximum gutka business in India is, you know what? It is money laundering. So गुटखा के पैकेट बनते भी नहीं उतने, कुछ पैकेट्स बनाते हैं और उनको ऐसे दिखा देते हैं कि हाँ हम सप्लाई कर रहे हैं, और उसके बाद बोल देते हैं इतना गुटखा भी है. गुटखा कितने का होता है? 1 रुपया, 2 रुपया, 3 रुपये का गुटखा होता है. उसका तो कोई ये नहीं, सब कैश बिजनेस है. तो आप साल महीने के एंड में बोल देते हो मेरा इतना गुटखा बिक गया है, उसके ऊपर आप टैक्स भी दे देते हो और पूरा पैसा वाइट हो जाता है.
Anyway,
वो गुटखा कोई खा नहीं रहा.
The point I'm trying to make is
हाँ?
He's talking about
endorsement of using a celebrity because he or she has a certain following.
But those are secular matters.
In order
But it's not a political matter. If they start endorsing political matters, that will be a whole different thing.
No, but I'm saying celebrities are always doing it, right? I mean, you have celebrities on each side of the
But
spectrum.
those are secular things.
Endorse.
Dekho, secular things are different.
All I'm trying to say is an individual.
Politics is different. Politics has got power attached to it.
What I'm saying is an individual in his individual capacity is reaching out to people who are following him, not necessarily because of a scientific temperament, but because they are emotionally
no godman can endorse
because
a product.
they are emotionally connected.
No godman will be allowed to endorse a product, by the way.
I'm
Godman को नहीं मिलेगा endorse करने. इसलिए one of the biggest
I'm saying an
accusations.
Akshay Kumar standing there and saying that
That's
नहीं
fine.
मैं मोदी जी को मानता हूँ, और say Javed Akhtar साहब who says that ये हमेशा फूटी डालते हैं. Both have a certain number of following, right?
That doesn't matter.
And they may not be following them because of
they are
any...
secular people. They are not. They don't have a religious identity to them. If you have a religious identity to you, where you are a religious leader, you cannot neither endorse products, neither endorse politics. Have you seen Asaram Bapu being allowed to endorse a Dabur ka honey? If he is allowed to do that, it will be a horrible thing. Because his followers, religion may people blindly follow the person. In anything else, people don't blindly follow the person. कितना भी अक्षय कुमार को कोई फॉलो करेगा, अक्षय कुमार is following is not like बागेश्वर धाम की following. There is no way I am going to suspend my belief for अक्षय कुमार. अक्षय कुमार ने बोल दिया मैं कर लूंगा जाके, थोड़ी करोगे. मोदी जी बोलेंगे तो भी नहीं करेंगे लोग. मोदी जी is even more popular than अक्षय कुमार. He is telling you to do so many things. आज बोल रहे हैं कि इंडियन ही खरीदो, इंडियन ही खरीदो. कौन खरीद रहा है सिर्फ इंडियन? सब चाइनीज ही खरीद रहे हैं अभी भी. तो उनके पास वो पावर नहीं है. पर एक नॉर्मल मूल्य के पास, आपके लोकल मूल्य के पास पावर है कि आपको कुछ बोलेगा, आप उसको जाके वोट डाल दोगे. और ये बंद होना चाहिए. उधर भी बंद होना चाहिए, इधर भी बंद होना चाहिए. Temple should not decide who I vote for, and he should not open his fucking mouth. ना मूल्य को ओपन करना चाहिए, ना पंडित को ओपन करना चाहिए. उसको बोलना नहीं चाहिए. पर्सनल उसका क्रिकेटर एक्टर बोले कोई फर्क नहीं, कोई सुनेगा नहीं उसकी बात.
Now this is interesting. I mean, the moment I gave a counter argument of the temple, a person who is involved in faith and propagation of faith should not talk. There was a very clear cut argument from yourself how it absolutely should not happen. But the moment the main topic was government intervention,
Correct.
and without having any argument in favor of that, you were only trying to justify why Nehru was right.
No.
In doing so.
No.
So-
I'm not saying he's right, because that is the wrong thing that he has done. What he has done is wrong. But I am telling you why, because I already agreed with you. Then there is no discussion. Should the government have any influence on the temple? No, absolutely not. It cannot have, because it's secularism. Same thing. Government cannot have anything to do with temple. Same reason.
But I'm saying there was no justification for, say, Parmeshwar Dham or whatever, Bageshwar Dham doing it. I'm saying the justification was so.
No, I'm sure he's justified in his mind.
All I'm saying is,
I am not
no, one
justified.
thing, let me complete. So because in one case justification was given and in the other not, it does on an outside appear like a certain sense of bias in terms of what that has happened, and that was reiterated by your particular, and this I know, your particular larger confidence in the scientific temperament over the subjective scientific temperament.
No.
Which this culture seems to be more invested in. And so, just to complete this, you mentioned about the feudal aspect of it. And I do agree that to a great extent, the initiation into faith happens because of how in how determined a way it is presented at the home, right? If the parents are truly democratic from the point the child is born, then in that case there will be far lesser people who would be unless they are of such scientific temperament as somebody like a J. Krishnamurti, I am saying, who are seeing everything to the absolute.
No, he is an extreme.
So
I'm not expecting that.
So according to me, democracy would work towards faith or towards spiritual growth.
मैं बोला नीम करोली बाबा को भी ले लो आप.
Only if you
कितने
do
लोग नीम करोली बाबा को फॉलो करने जा रहे हैं?
So
नहीं जा रहे ना, बागेश्वर धाम के पीछे भाग रहे.
But in
नीम
this
करोली
case-
बाबा के पीछे तो नहीं भाग रहे इतने लोग. नीम करोली बाबा के पीछे भाग रहे क्या? अब क्या बोलते हैं आपका स्टीव जॉब्स आएगा नीम करोली बाबा के पास, बट हमारा आदमी तो कोई नहीं जाएगा, बाजू में है लेकिन हमारे आदमी तो नहीं जाते नीम करोली बाबा के पास, हमारे लोग बागेश्वर धाम के पास चले जाते। नेहरू का डर यह था कि सोच समझ के लोग करने वाले नहीं है, लोग धर्म को इस देश में अंध की तरह, अंध भक्ति जिसको बोलते हैं, अंध भक्ति करते हैं, एक्चुअली में सोच समझ के कोई नहीं करता। जब विवेकानंद रामकृष्ण के पास गए थे, क्या बोल के गए थे? भगवान होता ही नहीं है, दिखाओ अगर है तो। ये स्पिरिट से आप जाओगे मंदिर में और फिर फेथ आएगा, दैट इज द साइंटिफिक टेम्पर एंड दैट इज द पावर ऑफ सनातन धर्म। रामकृष्ण ने थोड़ी बोला ये निकल जा, ऐसा सोचता है तू, बोला हाँ ला दिखाता हूं तेरे को भगवान, और दिखा दिया। नाउ दैट इज, और इससे ज्यादा साइंटिफिक क्या होगा? फैंटास्टिक, कम विद डाउट एंड गेट फेथ। व्हाई देयर इज नो डाउट? हाँ आसाराम बापू, हाँ बागेश्वर धाम, वही सेम वे में मुस्लिम्स में, अरे यार बोला है उन्होंने यार, तो सही बोला होगा। किसी ने नहीं पढ़ा है कुरान। मैंने मैक्सिमम मुस्लिम्स को पूछा है, आपने पढ़ा है? कभी नहीं पढ़ा है, कभी नहीं पढ़ा है। अरे सर कुछ लोग वो तो उसमें लिखा होता है, मेरे को तो आती नहीं वो भाषा। लो वो छोड़ो, सिखों को पूछो आप, भाई आपने पढ़ा है आपका गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब? सब मत्था टेक के आ जाएंगे, तो पढ़ा कुछ नहीं, किसी ने नहीं है। गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब तो और डिफिकल्ट है क्योंकि वो हाथ से लिखा हुआ होता है, इतने कॉपीज ही नहीं है, प्रिंट ही नहीं होता है, वो तो मिलेगा ही नहीं किसी को। ये देखो अमृतसर में जाके मत्था टेक के आया होगा, गया ना गोल्डन टेम्पल, कभी गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब पढ़ा है क्या?
नहीं गया।
गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब पढ़े होगे? नहीं पढ़े। गोल्डन टेम्पल चला गया, गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब नहीं पढ़े। तो मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि अंधभक्ति नहीं है तो क्या है? जो आदमी गोल्डन टेम्पल चला जाता है और उसको अपने धर्म के बारे में कुछ नहीं पता है, फिर भी वो गोल्डन टेम्पल चला जाता है, उसका क्या करना है? जो आदमी हज करके आता है और उसने कभी कुरान नहीं पढ़ा है, उसका क्या करना है? जो आदमी एनर्जी सेंटर नहीं समझ के मंदिर में जाकर मुंडी फोड़ के आ जाता है, उसका क्या करना है? क्या फायदा है? जो आदमी गीता ऐसे ही पढ़ते रहता है पागल जैसा, बिना समझ। शुरुआत का कितने दिन तक शुरुआत रहेगा यार? फर्स्ट क्लास में कब तक रह सकते आदमी? इट्स लाइक परमानेंटली फर्स्ट क्लास में हो तुम हज करके आ गए, तुम हज करके आ गए यार, हज तो फाइनल है।
नहीं, बट हर इंसान अपने टाइम पर करेगा। एट द एंड ऑफ द डे दैट्स हाउ इट, आई विल टेल यू व्हाट, आई ऑलवेज as a youngster, say till about 22 years, I saw being a Hindu as an identity. Okay, from 22 till about 36, I started slowly exploring through whatever means possible the whole idea of Hindu being part of a certain cultural civilization that I have received. It was only 36 onwards that I started in a very direct manner investing my life in spiritual growth.
Correct.
Okay, and in that process I started learning about these things and all the things. Now, would I have reached that place had I not gone through the 36 years of consistent exposure to
the Beatles came and learnt about all of these things.
I don't know
they grew up in a different civilization. They all came. Steve Jobs came to Neem Karoli Baba. Why would he come? Hundreds of people have come from there. Hundreds of people have grown up in the West and come here. It's not new. I mean, how many people have gone from here and had a following there? जो योगा का सबसे बड़े एक्सपोनेंट, व्हाट इज हिज नेम? नहीं वो
बाबा रामदेव।
नहीं बाबा रामदेव तो बिल्कुल
पतंजलि।
नहीं वो पहले वाले क्या? हाँ नो द गाय हु रोट दैट बुक
पतंजलि होगी।
नहीं
What book?
अरे माय
अच्छा योगदानंद।
योगदानंद कहाँ गए थे भाई? योगदानंद यहाँ कर रहे थे, वहां कर रहे थे, यहाँ तो कोई समझ में नहीं आ रहा था किसी को। योगा कोई ले लो आप, योगा जब तक बाहर के लोगों ने यूज करना शुरू नहीं किया, इंडिया में कौन कर रहा था योगा भाई? कोई नहीं कर रहा था। अपने सिविलाइजेशन का है, कौन कर रहा था? किसी को इंटरेस्ट नहीं था। पेल के जब वहां से वेस्ट में हो गया तब आपने यूज करना शुरू कर दिया, पहले तो कोई नहीं कर रहा था। इतने योगी इंडिया में हो गए, इंडिया से योग निकला, कोई नहीं कर रहा था, भूल गए थे आप। 1000 साल से आप योग को भूल चुके थे, बीड़ी पी रहे थे बैठ के गांव में, हाँ, और फालतू के काम कर रहे थे। जब अंग्रेज 90 इयर्स तक है, आप अंग्रेज का सैलरी ले रहे थे और अपने लोगों को मार रहे थे। Who are we? So these are the people Nehru saw. He saw that this is the country we have inherited, and just before that we went killing each other like mad in partition. Did we not do that? Did we not behave like animals right then and there? So how would you trust if you were running the country? How would you trust that these people are? I am not saying he was right. Of course he made a mistake. I hate the mixed economy even more than this, the temple thing. If he had just chosen to give us a free market, we would have become rich in 30 years because Indians are by nature entrepreneurial. So वो उसने अगर तभी लिबरलाइजेशन जो 90 में हुआ अगर पहले ही हो गया तो वुड हैव बीन अहेड ऑफ चाइना बाय 70. बट उन्होंने नहीं किया, उन्होंने आर्म्ड फोर्स 50 मिस्टेक किए. मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ ये भी मिस्टेक ही था टेम्पल को नहीं देना. बट हिज फियर वाज देयर. ही ऑपरेटेड आउट ऑफ फियर. He didn't operate out of faith. I told you, he didn't have trust his own people. He made a mistake. I am saying overall Indians would have responded better than what he thought. बागेश्वर धाम को बहुत लोग फॉलो करते हैं, बट कितने लोग? 100 करोड़ में से 50 करोड़ थोड़ी बागेश्वर धाम को फॉलो करेंगे. तुमको लगता है करेंगे? नहीं करेंगे. 10 लाख लोग भी फॉलो कर ले तो बहुत बड़ी बात है. 10 लाख तक पहुंचते पहुंचते सब बाबा का खत्म हो जाता है एफर्ट. आसाराम बापू कितने बड़े थे भाई? क्या हो गया? जेल में है ना. लोगों ने जेल तोड़ के बाहर निकाल दिया क्या उनको? नहीं ना. तो पीपल आर इन कंट्रोल ना ऑफ देयर फेथ. तो नेहरू को ये पार्ट समझ में नहीं आया, बट ही वॉज ऑपरेटिंग इन द इनिशियल ईयर्स. हिज thing was to protect the constitution more than protect the temple. I think he believed the temple will survive. Constitution will not survive if I don't take care of it. Because constitution, अभी भी constitution की आदत नहीं है लोगों को. वही तो कह रहा हूँ, टेम्पल की आदत तो अभी भी है. टेम्पल तो इतना सब करने के बाद भी टेम्पल सर्वाइव हो गया ना. आप तिरुपति जाते ही हो, पैसे देते ही हो तिरुपति को. एंड दैट इज द फैक्ट. व्हाट यू आर सेइंग, 10,000 साल का जो कल्चर है वो थोड़ी 70 साल में चला जाएगा. इतने लोगों ने मारा. हाँ,
1000 में
ना, 1000 में भी नहीं गया ना. 1000 में तो गया नहीं, 70 में तो जाएगा ही नहीं. 1000 में भी नहीं गया. इतने मारे, इतने लूटे काटे, मर गए, कुछ नहीं. हमने दूसरे धर्मों को चेंज कर दिया. वो धर्म हमारे यहाँ के मुस्लिम, सऊदी अरेबिया के मुस्लिम जैसे नहीं है. पाकिस्तान, अरे पाकिस्तान 50-60 साल में जैसा हो गया है, वहाँ के मुस्लिम को देखो और यहाँ के मुस्लिम को देखो. इंडिया में द बेस्ट क्वालिटी ऑफ रिलीजियस पीपल लिव इन इंडिया बिकॉज दे लिव इन इंडिया. वो इंडोनेशिया में नहीं मिलेंगे, ईरान में नहीं मिलेंगे, कहीं नहीं मिलेंगे. वो आपको सिर्फ इंडिया में ही मिलेंगे क्योंकि वो उसका 10,000 साल का कल्चर है. जेनेटिकली तो सब सेम है ना. हिंदू और मुस्लिम जो भी इंडिया में रहता है, दे आर ऑल द सेम. दे आर फ्रॉम द सेम कल्चर. दे आर नॉट डिफरेंट एंड यू कांट मेक देम डिफरेंट. कितना भी करोगे डिफरेंट नहीं हो जाएंगे. 99% ऑफ देम विल रिमेन द सेम. 5-10 रेडिकलाइज हो जाएंगे लेकिन नहीं होंगे, उससे ज़्यादा नहीं होंगे. हिंदू में भी होंगे, मुस्लिम में भी होंगे, उतने ही होंगे, उससे ज़्यादा नहीं होंगे. इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल टू रियली defeat this civilization over a long period of time, and now it is on an upper arc. And that upper arc he should have realized. He should have realized that Sri Aurobindo has happened, Vivekananda has happened, Yogananda had already happened. This thing is on an upper arc, and this is not going to now betray, and this is not going to lose anymore. I don't know why he didn't see that. He should have seen.
I think he saw Gandhi and got scared.
I think so. I think so. You know, Arun Shuri wrote a book called Religion and Politics. And he said, actually India had already become very secular by the time Gandhi came into Indian politics. If you go to see India's politics before Gandhi, when Tilak was the leader and Gokhale was the leader and the revolutionaries like Bhagat Singh were the leader and all of them, nobody talked about religion. Gandhi dressed up like a monk. Gandhi went around talking about Gita. Gandhi died saying Hey Ram. Gandhi started doing bhajans. Who brought religion into politics in India? Mahatma. Started getting called Mahatma, never objected to it. Why was he Mahatma and not Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi? Mohan bolna chahiye. Why did he become Mahatma? Why did it, Fakir jaisa kyun ghumte the? Why did he do that, all that acting? Why did he take the religion and mixed it into politics? Why? Satyagraha उन्होंने लेकर आया, fasting. Fasting हमारे religion से उठाया हुआ सीधा माल है. वो अगर हिंदू धर्म का साइन नहीं है fasting, तो और क्या है? तो उन्होंने सबसे ज़्यादा ये किया. उन्होंने मेथड सारे हिंदू धर्म के उठाए और ये किया कि ये सब सर्विस में मुस्लिम्स का जाए. बड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग मैसेज है और सब पागल हो गए इसलिए. Everybody lost it. The Muslims did not like him. The Hindus did not like him. Nobody liked him in the end. I mean, that's why Jinnah was so mad at him, right? What are you doing? If you like Muslims so much, then give us some power. And he was not willing to give it. Nehru कर रहा था वो. So it is, he was surrounded by these, and those princely states, 550 princely states were there. सरदार पटेल ने उनको जबरदस्ती करके घुसा तो लिया था, but maximum of them were Hindu, no? रजवाड़े थे हिंदू, क्षत्रिय. तो वो कभी अपने आप देखा नहीं. अभी भी है. हम राजस्थान गए अभी भी वो राजा को पूजा करते उसकी. And she has come into politics now. जैसे अभी सिंधिया जो है ग्वालियर का राजा पॉलिटिक्स में है वो. तो मोनार्क जो है हमारे यहाँ डेमोक्रेसी में घुस गए तो कितना पावर है उनके पास? अभी भी मैं कल पढ़ा सिंधिया जो है कोई म्यूनिसिपल लेवल पे कोई चीज में घुसा है मीटिंग में तो सब खड़े हो गए डर के मारे. दे ट्रीट हिम लाइक गॉड. सो ये जो माइंडसेट है इंडिया का वो कहां जाएगा? उसको तोड़ना जरूरी है ना. राजा कोई नहीं होता, राजा कोई नहीं होता, कितनी बार बोला गया ये पॉलिटिक्स में इंडिया में. सब सारे पॉलिटिकल पार्टी ये बोलते रहते हैं राजा कोई नहीं है, बिकॉज दे आर अफ्रेड ऑफ दोज राजास. अभी भी गए नहीं वो राज. तो करोलरी ऑफ हिंदू धर्म इज राजा ऑल्सो. और राजा का पावर तो खत्म करना है, उसमें तो मेरे को मतलब कोई यही नहीं है. आई डोंट गिव ए फक वो कोई रिलीजन का हो, साइंटिफिक हो नहीं हो. आई डोंट वांट मोनार्की. आई डू नॉट वांट एनी आंसर्स टू मोनार्की क्यों अच्छा है. हो सकता है बहुत अच्छा हो, भगवान का चुना हुआ आदमी.
नहीं, आई वुडंट आल्सो वांट दैट.
I don't care if it is right or wrong, but I don't want to go back in that because I will lose all my freedoms. Because then the Raja will decide. तो राजा तो नहीं होना चाहिए ना. हम तो सब एग्री करते हैं, हिंदू मुस्लिम सिख ईसाई, इंडिया में कोई नहीं है जो बोलता है राजा लेकर आओ वापस. किसी को राजा नहीं चाहिए.
उसमें हम सब राजा हैं. उसमें मीटू चलेगा.
हाँ, इंडिया में सब राजा है, सब अपने मन का राजा है. जब मनता है उठता है, जब मनता है सोता है, जिसको मन करता है वोट करता है ना. पैसे दे के जाता है कोई, उसको पैसा ले लेता है पर वोट नहीं डालता है.
Don't be offended by my comment.
No, it's fine. It's true.
The third topic.
So anyway, one last comment. Not defending Nehru at any point. That topic was ended right there. That it could not have even progressed a minute because I agree completely with you that it should not have been done. Temples should be freed, and I think they're going to be freed very soon. They are going to be freed.
I don't know about that. I mean,
They
when,
will,
your,
they will.
when your CGI is saying that ask Vishnu to go and protect his own.
यार ये CGI ना थोड़ा सा पागल है. ये CGI के नाम पे कलंक है. Because इसने तो ये भी बोला कि मैं झोपड़पट्टी में बड़ा हुआ और उसका बाप उस समय एमएलए था. वो झोपड़पट्टी में कैसे बड़ा हुआ रे? तेरा बाप एमएलए था. जब वो 4 साल का था तब उसका बाप एमएलए बन गया था और उसके बाद वो एमपी बन गया. तो ये झोपड़पट्टी में कब था? मतलब पैदा होने के समय 1-2 साल. अगर वो झोपड़पट्टी से एमएलए बना होगा तो. अब मुझे नहीं लगता कि वो झोपड़पट्टी से एमएलए बना था उसका बाप. तो ही कम्स फ्रॉम पॉलिटिकल फैमिली. शुड हैव सम शेम व्हाइल ही कमेंट्स सम थिंग्स लाइक मैं झोपड़पट्टी से हूँ. क्यों बोलते हैं लोग ऐसा? मुझे समझ में नहीं आता. अगर झोपड़पट्टी से नहीं हो तो न मत बोलो. क्यों झोपड़पट्टी से बोलने की जरूरत है? कुछ बेटर तमगा मिलेगा क्या अगर झोपड़पट्टी से हो तो? रिडिकुलस. तो ये सीजीआई को मैं सीरियसली लेता नहीं हूँ. ये सीजीआई जो है वर्स्ट है. आई एम एक्चुअली ऑन रिकॉर्ड ऑन ट्विटर गोइंग एंड सेइंग दैट कि भाई दिस मैन विल सिंगल हैंडेडली रूइन द रेपुटेशन ऑफ इंडियन जुडिशरी. ही इज ब्रिंगिंग दैट टाइम. आई डोंट नो इफ इट विल हैपन टू पॉलिटिशियंस और ब्यूरोक्रेट्स इन इंडिया, बट कोर्ट के जस्टिसेस को लोग रोड पे पीटेंगे ऐसा हो सकता है. जिस तरह से ये चल रहे हैं किसी भी दिन ये आप देख सकते हो. लोगों का गुस्सा इतना बड़ा हुआ है ना कोर्ट के जजों के ऊपर, एक के बाद एक. वो कुत्ते से लेके हर चीज़ के ऊपर में गंदिया घटिया जजमेंट देते जाते हैं. रोज देते हैं. कोई अच्छा जजमेंट नहीं देते. सबको परेशान कर रखा है उन्होंने. और विष्णु वाला जो कमेंट है वो ऐसे ही है. इट इज़ लाइक रेकलेस. दे आर थिंकिंग कि हमें कोई छू नहीं सकता. कोई हमें छू नहीं सकता. सबको आप छू सकते हो पर हमें कोई नहीं. मतलब आपके घर में इतना कैश निकलता है और आप उस आदमी को विदाउट सस्पेंड भी नहीं करते, आप उसको सिर्फ दूसरे कोर्ट में ट्रांसफर कर देते हो. ये क्या मजाक है क्या? किसी और के घर पे अगर पॉलिटिशियन का भी घर पे मिलेगा तो उसको सस्पेंड कर देते हैं, उसको हटा देते हैं. अभी लालू यादव को सामने से देखा है हमने कि भाई चारा घोटाले में जेल गया बेचारा. कौन से कोर्ट के जस्टिस को आपने देखा है जेल जाते हुए? मैंने तो नहीं देखा किसी को जाते हुए भाई जेल. कोई गया? सारे जज अच्छे हैं. ऑल आर दूध के धुले हुए. मजाक है. मतलब चंद्रचूड़ तक ठीक था यार. दिस मैन इज.
तो मैंने कहा ऐसे कंडीशन में फिर कोर्ट में तो कहाँ होगा?
कोर्ट में क्या होगा? कोर्ट में कोर्ट. अरे हाँ, ये अभी रिसेंटली समय रैना और इन लोगों को कोर्ट में बुला के द जज, और वो भी डिफेमेशन केस में, नॉट ऑन दैट मैटर. कोई चीज में किसी ने डिफेमेशन केस कर दिया उनके ऊपर. वो मैटर पे जज ने क्या बोला पता है? नॉट द चीफ जस्टिस बट अनदर वन सेड लाइक ए 5 साल के बच्चे को जैसे बोलते ना, से सॉरी नाउ. ये जज का काम है. से सॉरी नाउ. दिस वाज हिज वर्ड्स टू देम. ही मेड देम, ऑल दोज अडल्ट पीपल, जैसे कान पकड़े बोलते ना सॉरी बोलो, ऐसे बोले सॉरी बोलो, अभी बोलो पहले. वी विल नॉट डिस्कस. ही टोल्ड हिज लॉयर वी विल नॉट डिस्कस एनीथिंग. फर्स्ट टेल देम से सॉरी. यू विल नॉट से. फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच क्या मिलेगा आपको? जहां पर एक एब्सोल्युटली इनोकुअस स्टेटमेंट था, जिस स्टेटमेंट का कोई कुछ मीनिंग नहीं है, उसके लिए सॉरी बोलवाया उनको. बोला आप ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते. फ्री स्पीच का मतलब आप कुछ भी बोलोगे. जज बोल रहा है ये फ्री स्पीच का मतलब आप कुछ भी बोल दोगे. ऑफ कोर्स. और वो भी कोई गाली नहीं दिया है, कुछ नहीं दिया है. हाँ, इट वॉज अबाउट हैंडीकैप पीपल. देयर वाज अ जोक दे हैड मेड अबाउट हैंडीकैप पीपल. say sorry for making a joke on a handicapped person. यार you can just say it's in bad taste. How can there be a case against you for saying अरे तू बहरा है, ऐसा किसी को बोल दिया तो उसके लिए तुम्हारे ऊपर केस हो जाएगा. This is too much. और उसके लिए say sorry. It's like स्कूल में है क्या? स्केल लेके मारेगा नेक्स्ट.
You don't have free speech. I'll tell you what to say. Say sorry.
वही था, ऐसे ही हुआ. And people are stunned. I'm telling you, so many Supreme Court lawyers are there on Twitter. You should see their remarks. Of course, उनकी फटती है. I can say much harsher words because they have to go in front of the judge. But they are all stunned by this. What is happening since Govt has become the CJI? They're like, क्या हो रहा है? कुछ भी बोला जा रहा है. आज कुछ बोलता है, कल कुछ और बोलता है. They are almost on Rahul Gandhi level now. Like Rahul Gandhi ने today, I mean, now it will become dated by the time it comes out. He's saying, आज मैं क्या न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब या कुछ ऐसा ये फोड़ने वाला हूँ, हाइड्रोजन बॉम्ब फोड़ने वाला हूँ. 3 minutes into the thing he says, नहीं हाइड्रोजन बॉम्ब है बाद में फोड़ो, ये हाइड्रोजन बॉम्ब नहीं है. वो आगे आएगा. Okay, this is the first weird thing he said. Then he said कि
उसकी बॉम्ब है.
हाँ, उसके बाद बोला कर्नाटक में हमने एक किसी का नाम डिलीट हो गया, उसके ऊपर में FIR किया है, तो उस पर CID इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रही है और हमने 18 लेटर लिखे इलेक्शन कमीशन को इन्फॉर्मेशन के लिए. CID कर्नाटक CID ने एक भी बार जवाब नहीं आ रहा है. एक जवाब आया कि हम देंगे आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन, फिर एक भी आंसर. दिस लुक्स वेरी बैड. 5 minutes लेटर इलेक्शन कमीशन के हैंडल से ट्वीट आ रहा है, भाई वो FIR हमने किया था, आपने नहीं किया था. इलेक्शन कमीशन का FIR है, कर्नाटक CID इज इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग दिस इन कर्नाटक बट फाइल्ड बाय AEC ओनली. हमारा ही FIR है वो. व्हाट टू से अबाउट दिस मैन? देन ही सेइंग चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर के बारे में मेरे पास बहुत सबूत है क्योंकि इलेक्शन कमीशन के अंदर के लोग ही मेरे से मिले हुए. ही सेइंग दैट मेरे से मिले हुए. मैं क्या करूं ऐसे आदमी का? तो ऐसे ही है, बट कोर्ट के लोग भी ऐसे ही बात कर रहे हैं. अच्छा, कौन आदमी किसी को बोलता है कि ये मेरे साथ मिला हुआ है?
अच्छा, अब हमने पॉलिटिक्स की बात कर ली, क्या कहते हैं फेथ की बात कर ली, मीडिया और क्या कहते हैं रील्स की बात कर ली.
नहीं, इसका नहीं किया ना मीडिया का.
हाँ, अब धंधे की बात.
वर्टिकल
हमारे धंधे पे जो मुझे लगता है
उथल पुथल आया हुआ है,
आहत हो रही है, प्रहार हो रहा है.
करेक्ट.
क्योंकि यहाँ पर राइटर्स हैं, डायरेक्टर्स हैं, एक्टर हैं और कंटेंट.
कैमरा वाले बहुत खुश हो गए. कैमरा वाले को बहुत काम मिल रहा है वर्टिकल ड्रामा से, है कि नहीं? मिल रहा है कि नहीं? वर्टिकल ड्रामा किसने किया है? माइक्रो ड्रामा और वर्टिकल ड्रामा सब शूट कर रहे हैं.
बट एक्चुअली मैं ना,
हाँ, अच्छा है ना, मस्त काम मिल रहा है, बहुत काम मिल रहा है, बहुत 3-3, 4-4 दिन में 100 बना रहे हैं.
I am actually very.
I think it's a conspiracy of cameramen.
I'm actually very intrigued to know. I mean, ठीक है, it's almost like people have thought कि भाई अब लोगों को आदत पड़ गई है ये करने की, तो अब लोग जो है फिल्में और शोज और हर चीज़ ऐसे देखेंगे. I'm really, I find that very difficult to believe because मैं भी अगर करूँगा एक ही चीज़ को मैं 2-2 1-1 मिनट के इसमें देखूंगा. I can't imagine people doing it, so I don't know what research has been done to.
There is no research in India. इंडिया में जब भी कोई चीज़ अचानक ऐसे पकड़ लेती है तो उसके पीछे रिसर्च नहीं होता है. जैसे मैं सबसे पहले वाला एक अच्छा वाला एग्जांपल देता हूँ जिसमें कुछ अच्छा हुआ देश के लिए, वो था कंप्यूटर्स. जब फर्स्ट कंप्यूटर्स आए 80s में, याद करो वो टाइम, कोई रिसर्च था? अचानक कंप्यूटर सेंटर्स जो खुलने शुरू हो गए, उसके पीछे किसी ने कोई रिसर्च किया था? क्योंकि रिसर्च तो हो ही नहीं सकता था. ऐसे कोई कंप्यूटर सेंटर अमेरिका में नहीं थे, ऐसे कोई कंप्यूटर सेंटर चाइना में नहीं थे. अचानक इंडिया में कंप्यूटर सेंटर्स खुलने चालू हो गए. डेटामेटिक्स और ये और एप्पल और NIIT इतने सारे खुल गए और सब गली गली में कंप्यूटर की ट्रेनिंग होने लगी. लोगों ने कंप्यूटर खरीद लिए, ले आए. पता भी नहीं था कि लोग सीखेंगे, नहीं सीख पाएंगे, कुछ नहीं पता था, पर लोगों ने डाल दिया और वो फैल गया और उसके बाद वो चल पड़ी. वो एक ही चीज़ है जो एक्चुअली में चल पड़ी और चल पड़ी. दूसरी चीज़ जो चल पड़ी और जिससे हमें बहुत फ़ायदा हम सबको, वो था केबल टीवी. अचानक 92 वर्ल्ड कप के टाइम पे तार फेंकना शुरू कर दिया लोगों ने, धाड़ 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 धाड़, और केबल चैनल आ गए. और चैनल थे ही नहीं एक भी, सारे केबल आ गए. सरकार को भी पता नहीं चला ये क्या हुआ. अचानक लोगों ने केबल फेंक फेंक के चालू कर दिया केबल. चला। उसके पहले केबल सिर्फ सीसीटीवी की तरह हर बिल्डिंग के अंदर होता था, जिसमें मैं काम कर चुका हूँ। वीडियो कैसेट डालते थे और लोगों को एंटरटेनमेंट या फॉरेन शोज होते थे जो लोग देखते थे, लेकिन वो दूसरे बिल्डिंग में नहीं जाता था, हर बिल्डिंग का अपना कंट्रोल सेंटर होता था। ये केबल फेंक के करना, और जैसे वो केबल फेंक के, ये थोड़े बहुत फेंके थे लोगों ने केबल, वर्ल्ड कप खत्म होते होते जीटीवी शुरू हो गया, पहला चैनल आ गया। यार इतने जल्दी कैसे चालू हो गया, आ गया पता नहीं। और वो फिर उसका सांप सीढ़ी और वो तारा, ये 2 सीरियल के कारण लोगों ने फटाफट जीटीवी चाहिए चाहिए चाहिए, फिर केबल वाले पूरी तरह से फैल गए। और वही 200-300 रुपए तब लेते थे, आज भी 300 रुपए ले रहे। कमाल है, 30 साल में केबल वाले का बिल नहीं चेंज हुआ, वही बिल चालू।
आप वर्टिकल को उससे कंपेयर कर,
मैं ये बोल रहा हूं कि इंडिया में धड़ल्ले से कोई भी चीज चालू हो सकती है, लेकिन ये 2 चीज मेरे को याद आती है जो एक्चुअली में पकड़ गई और आगे गई। दूसरी इंटरनेट है और मोबाइल है। बट ये जो देखने वाला चक्कर है, इसका कोई गारंटी नहीं है। क्यों गारंटी नहीं है? क्योंकि जो रील्स है उसका मेन फैक्टर ये है कि सारे रील्स अलग होते हैं। कोई आदमी बैठ के किसी एक आदमी का रील कंटिन्यूअसली देखते नहीं रहता है। रील का होल पॉइंट, ये जो स्क्रॉल आप करते हो उसका होल पॉइंट है, एक आता है, फिर आप एक आता है, नहीं एक आते रहता है। क्या आता है घंटा किसी को नहीं पता क्या आने वाला है नेक्स्ट। जो भी आता है आप देखते हैं। जैसे ही सेड कुछ तो आ गया फीड में, उन्होंने थोड़े सोचा था। आई थिंक द बिगेस्ट फैक्टर वाई पीपल कीप स्क्रोलिंग द रील्स इज टू बी सरप्राइज्ड, कि कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग आ जाए, कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग आ जाए। They don't want to, the person who is flicking like this and watching, which they call doom scrolling, because you are doomed, you're going to go on scrolling and your time is going to be wasted and doom scrolling. So, and nobody is doing it with an intent. No one, when they are doing this, have any clear motivation. It is unknown why you are doing it, and you are looking for unknown shit. You are not looking for any particular thing. The moment you say कि ये serial देखनी है या ये फिल्म देखनी है, वो इस फॉर्मेट में नहीं चल सकता, बिकॉज वहां पर आप वो मेंटालिटी से नहीं जा रहे हो। आपकी मेंटालिटी है गिव मी समथिंग आई डोंट नो, ओके व्हाट, शो मी समथिंग आई हैव नॉट सीन, डोंट वांट टू सी व्हाट्स यू हैव ऑलरेडी सीन। आप डेलिबरेटली कोई चीज उसके अंदर जाके देखने वाला नहीं हो। ये फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लमेटिक चीज है जो इलॉजिकली लोग सोच नहीं रहे वर्टिकल बनाते समय, कि ये फीड में वो नहीं चलेगा, ये फीड कोई चेंज नहीं करना, इसमें सब अलग अलग चीजें चाहिए। जितने भी लोगों ने शॉर्ट वीडियोस, अब यूट्यूब से सीखना चाहिए। आज मैं सुबह में एक चीज़ देखा था, मैंने सोचा मैं डाल दूं लिंक्डइन पे, फिर मैंने सोचा जाने दो, माइक्रो ड्रामा वालों को बहुत बुरा लग जाएगा, तो मैंने नहीं डाला। वो ये था कि ऐसी कोई चीज़ जो लोग सोचते हैं कि जो भी चूतिया पे आज हो रहे हैं वो पहले नहीं हुए थे, वो सबसे बड़े चूतिया है दुनिया में। ये वो बेसिकली दैट मीम वाज दैट, राइट, इन वेरी नाइस फिलोसोफर का बोला हुआ, तो इंग्लिश में मैंने उसको थोड़ा कलोकियल बना दिया। तो वैसे ही है, सब लोग भूल गए, बिकॉज मैंने जय हिंद बनाया था और मैं इतना दिन तक बनाया था वो इंटरनेट पे, तो मेरे को याद है उस समय भी लोग क्या बोलते थे, शॉर्ट वीडियोस, यूट्यूब शॉर्ट वीडियोस, राइट। यूट्यूब में शॉर्ट वीडियोस, अब दिव्या हमारे जय हिंद का ही छोटे छोटे वीडियोस बना के शॉर्ट्स यूट्यूब में डाल रहे हैं ना। द गुड थिंग इज शॉर्ट्स के व्यूज नॉर्मल वीडियो से ज़्यादा आ रहे हैं, बट ₹1 नहीं बन रहा है उसमें। यू नो हाउ मच वी मेड आउट ऑफ 1000 व्यूज ऑफ ए शॉर्ट्स? $0.29 in an entire month, and just from a few views, less than 200 views of normal video, we made $5. तो you can imagine कि क्या होने वाला है उसका, बिकॉज वो रिपीट नहीं है, कोई कनेक्टेड नहीं है, तो एडवर्टाइजर भी पैसा नहीं फेंकता उसके पीछे। तो माइक्रो ड्रामा का सबसे बड़ा सेकंड प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मोनेटाइज नहीं होने वाला है वो आज किसी ने बहुत अच्छे से लिंक्डइन में, आलोक केजरीवाल एक्चुअली सर, भाई मैंने ना गेम्स बनाए हैं बहुत, और मेरे गेम्स का एक गेम उसमें से ऐसा है जो पूरा ये स्क्रोलिंग पे बेस्ड है, उसमें जितना स्क्रोल कर करके वो गेम चलता है, गेम में भी स्टोरी है, तो वो ऐसे ऐसे चलता है, और वो 2D एनिमेशन में बनाता हूँ बहुत सस्ते में मैं, फिर भी मेरे पैसे नहीं बन रहे। लाखों करोड़ों व्यूज़ है उस गेम के, लेकिन पैसे नहीं बन रहे। तो तुम लोग कैसे बनाने वाले हो पैसे? तुम्हारा तो बहुत महंगा है कंटेंट, इतने सस्ते में तो नहीं बन रहा है जितने में मैं 2D एनिमेशन बना लेता हूँ। तो तुम्हारे पैसे बनने वाले कैसे? जो कि मैं भी जानना चाहता हूँ। अगर 5 मिनट का वीडियो होता है, उसके अंदर में कितने ऐड आते हैं ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा यूट्यूब पे? 3, 10-10 सेकंड के 3 ऐड आते हैं। किसी ने 5 मिनट के वीडियो पे 30 सेकंड से ज़्यादा ऐड देखा है? नहीं देखा है। तो 30 सेकंड में कितने ऐड के रेट चल रहे हैं आजकल? एक्चुअली अब 40 पैसा भी नहीं मिल रहा है, अब तो 20 पैसा मिलना मुश्किल है। तो अगर 25 पैसा भी मिल रहा है एक ऐड का, तो 75 पैसे बनेंगे भैया एक वीडियो पे, एक व्यू पे। 75 पैसे मैक्सिमम बनने वाले तुम्हारे। एक व्यू पे। तो अगर 1 मिलियन व्यूज हो गया तो कितना बनेगा? कितना? 7,500 रुपये। हाँ, क्या क्या फायदा होने वाला है? अगर 75,000 भी बना लिया तो कितना कमा लेगो तुम? बनाने का कॉस्ट 75,000 से कम होगा? नहीं होगा। और 5 मिनट की जगह अगर 2 मिनट का है, जो ये लोग 2 मिनट का बना रहे बराबर, तो जो आदमी 5 मिनट के वीडियो पे 3 ऐड देखता है 10-10 सेकंड के, 2 मिनट के इसमें 10 सेकंड का ही देखेगा। थोड़ी वो 30 सेकंड का ऐड देखना पसंद करेगा, 2 मिनट में से 30 सेकंड ऐड देखेगा? कोई आदमी ऐसा पागल होगा? पसंद करेगा। और तुम जब अभी स्क्रॉल करते हो, हाउ मेनी एड्स कम? ऐड कितने देखे आपने? जब आप ऐसे करते रहते हो, ऐड कितने आते हैं? आते हैं, बीच बीच में ऐड आते हैं कभी कभी, लेकिन कितने आते हैं? किसी को नहीं याद होगा ऐड देखा है आपने। तो ये जो कर रहा है उसके बीच में ऐड आएगा तो वो रुकेगा क्या? वहां रुकना पसंद करोगे तुम ऐड देखने के लिए? तो पैसे कैसे बनेंगे? वो माइक्रो ड्रामा वाला कमाएगा कहां से जब ऐड ही नहीं आएगा? तो आई डोंट नो व्हाई नोबडी इज थिंकिंग दिस। सब्सक्रिप्शन बेसिस पे आज तक नेटफ्लिक्स ने नहीं कमाया पैसे, तो ये लोग कैसे कमाएंगे सब्सक्रिप्शन पे? जियो वाले नहीं कमा पाए सब्सक्रिप्शन से। हाँ, जियो वाले आज सब्सक्रिप्शन छोड़ के ऐड पे क्यों आ गए? जियो वाले ने छोड़ दिया सब्सक्रिप्शन, बने ही नहीं। हॉटस्टार नहीं कमा पाया यार, सबसे ज्यादा सब्सक्रिप्शन थी उसकी। ऑल्ड बालाजी बंद हो गया, उल्लू भी बैन हो गया। कौन बेवकूफ है? अच्छा ओके, सब्सक्राइब करके कोई ऐसे ऐसे क्यों करेगा फिर? ये तो करने का मतलब मैं फ्री टाइम में बैठा हूं, ऐसे ऐसे देखते जा रहा हूं, अब मैं उसमें सब्सक्राइब करूंगा।
So basically you're not supposed to do this. वो अपने आप ही आगे बढ़ता है। It's like
पर मैं जाऊंगा क्यों उसमें? तुमने इसलिए वर्टिकल बनाया लाइक ही सेड बिकॉज यू बिलीव कि ये लोगों को आदत हो गई है, तो इसके तो बाहर जाना पड़ेगा ना। अब मैं तुम्हारे ऐप में आ गया हूं तो वहां क्यों ऐसा करूंगा? ये तो मैं फेसबुक पे और इंस्टा पे करता हूं जहां करोड़ों पीसेस ऑफ कंटेंट है। तुम्हारे पास है ही नहीं करोड़ों पीस कंटेंट, तुम्हारे पास तो एक ही शो है या 2 शो है, 3 शो है। तुम्हारा ऐप में डाउनलोड करके ऐसा ऐसा क्यों करूंगा? ऐसा करके क्यों नहीं देखूंगा? फिल्में देखते हैं लोग, कितने लोग हो आप लोग जो फिल्म देखते हो, फिल्म देखते समय ऐसे नहीं कर लेते हो फोन को? कौन है जो नहीं करता? ऐसा कर लेते हैं ना सब लोग ऐसा फोन। वो तेलुगु फिल्म के सब जो डब अपन देखते हैं उसको कैसे देखते हैं? ऐसे देखते हैं ना, उसका स्टैंड भी आता है बाकायदा फोन के। अब इसमें तो कौन बेवकूफ तेलुगु फिल्म ऐसे देखता है? ऐसे करके देखता है क्या कोई? तो फिर ये क्यों देखूंगा मैं ऐसे? अगर मैं ऐप डाउनलोड कर रहा हूं शो देखने के लिए, मैं क्रिकेट का मैच देखता हूं क्या ऐसे? तो अब क्रिकेट का मैच भी वर्टिकल में आना चाहिए टेलीकास्ट, अगर लोगों को वर्टिकल इतना पसंद है तो। क्रिकेट से एडिक्टिव तो कुछ नहीं है। व्हाई डोंट दे टेलीकास्ट द मैच इन वर्टिकल? बिकॉज पीपल लाइक टू सी इट लाइक दिस। कितना एक्चुअली क्रिकेट में आराम से आ सकता है, बिकॉज स्टंप और एक स्टंप से दूसरे स्टंप, पिच भी आपका वर्टिकल जैसा ही है, बैठ जाएगा, विकेट कीपर भी दिखेगा, फिर मारने के बाद ऐसे चले जाना, उसके बाद पता नहीं क्यों दिखेगा कि नहीं, कहाँ गया बॉल ढूंढते रहना ऐसे ऐसे करके। तो ऐसे ही है, वैसे ही है। आपको इसमें क्या रिएक्शन काटा है जो ढूंढ रहे कहाँ पर है?
Do you think they could be thinking that what vertical forces you to do is that it makes an already overtly close-up media, which is television, even more close-up.
ठीक है, फिर
I'm saying that is it intended to take that TV audience to that kind of a viewing where you are where anyways you're consuming a lot of your content on phone, and here I give you this extremely super close up.
Okay. You know, one of the things that vertical में बहुत अच्छा लोगों को लगता है is travel videos. How many people agree कि travel videos vertical में लोग बहुत देखते हैं? वो सब नेचर के हैं शॉर्ट्स। तो क्लोजअप का तो फंडा खत्म हो गया उधर कि क्लोजअप के लिए देखते हैं। और क्लोजअप क्यों टीवी में काम करती है? क्या हम कोई ऑडियंस वाला ऐसे बैठ के सोचता है कि मैं ना इस शो में क्लोजअप्स देखूंगा? ये तो नहीं होता है ना। ये इसलिए देखते हो कि हम लोग क्लोजअप से इमोशन ट्रांसफर करते हैं बेटर। तो अब इमोशन ट्रांसफर कर लिए आर्क बनाना पड़ता है, उसके लिए यू नो यूर एज एन एक्टर, आपको परफॉर्मेंस के लिए टाइम चाहिए। अगर मैं क्लोजअप के सीन्स करूंगा दो विल बी स्लो, दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू बी फास्ट कट्स। तो माइक्रो ड्रामा तो बहुत फास्ट कट में चलता है, तो उसका क्लोजअप का इस्तेमाल कैसे करेगा? वो तो क्लोजअप पे ठहरने वाला नहीं है 2 सेकंड। तो क्लोजअप तो तब काम करेगा ना जब मैं ठहराव लाऊंगा, नहीं तो क्लोजअप काम कैसे करेगी? मैं खड़ा 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 करूंगा तो कैसे करके आएगा?
How do you do this close-up?
Everything is a contradiction.
Frame will not show 2 people का close-up at the same time.
No, never.
So it is so bizarre.
नहीं मतलब maximum you can do probably max.
They are having to put people like this. Your worst frames than you know even in soaps. सोप में कैसे अननेचुरली लोग खड़े होते थे, अब सबको ऐसे खड़ा होना होता है। अगर हम दोनों बात कर रहे हैं तो हम दोनों ऐसे खड़े होकर बात करेंगे। ताकि हम फिट हो जाए।
मेरा वाला कौन सा कैमरा है?
बताओ। हाँ, दोनों का सही है भाई।
तुम गलत हो।
एक ही कैमरे में हैं हम लोग दोनों, हम दोनों एक ही में।
हाँ तो मैं तुम्हारी तरफ देखूंगा ही नहीं।
ये हो रहा है वर्टिकल में, एक इधर ही आ जाओ, साथ में खड़े हो जाओ, ऐसे ऐसे करके बात करो, कोई लॉजिक ही नहीं है। और वो जब पैन करते हैं तब इतना घटिया शॉट आता है, क्योंकि पैन करते समय वो दिखता ही नहीं कहाँ से कहाँ जा रहा है, इतना सा दिखता है वो, कोई लॉजिकली नहीं है। बट लेट्स नॉट इवन गेट इनटू द ग्रामर ऑफ इट, देयर इज नो ग्रामर। They are doing it because they said somebody told and people started running after it without doing any research, okay?
Is that economics, you think, in terms of that you are able to make it in far lesser? Because
No, of course you're making it for far, but it's still more
you
expensive
can
than...
make it anywhere basically. आप
You can.
हर चीज को
No, but finally कितना भी बना लो सस्ते में, एड के सामने तो वो बहुत महंगा है। तो चाइना से उन्होंने कॉपी किया, ये चाइना में $7 बिलियन का ये इंडस्ट्री बन गया बोल रहे हैं, ठीक है? $7 बिलियन उसका रेवेन्यूज आ रहे हैं उसमें से। ये नहीं कोई पूछ रहा है कि बनाने में और चलाने में कितना खर्च हो रहा है, वो $9 बिलियन का है। द कॉस्ट इज $9 बिलियन, इनकम इज $7 बिलियन, $2 बिलियन पीपल आर लूजिंग। सो नोबडी इज टेलिंग दिस कि मेरा खर्चा ज्यादा है। इट्स लाइक रनिंग ए चैनल फॉर 900 crores and making 500 crores and not telling about the 900 and saying it's a 500 crore business. Yeah, but how much are you losing?
ये तो एयरलाइन इंडस्ट्री हो गया मतलब।
हाँ, या फिल्म इंडस्ट्री। अक्षय कुमार 100 करोड़ रुपए लेते हैं, बहुत बड़ी बड़ी फिल्में करते हैं। फिल्म का इनकम कितना था? 80 करोड़। What the fuck? It is like that. It is the same way. And funding लिए जा रहे हैं। अच्छा, all of these people have never done television, never done films. These are all micro drama people. People are actually writing LinkedIn पे माइक्रो ड्रामा स्पेशलिस्ट। अबे कल तो शुरू हुआ, तू स्पेशलिस्ट कैसे बना? Someone wrote on LinkedIn that day, my 100th micro drama. 100th? 3 महीने में तेरे 100 हो गए, तो तूने क्या बनाया होगा? Just imagine क्या बनाया होगा।
So my point to us इन सब की वजह से जो लोगों की डिमांड ज़्यादा हो गई है, जॉब की एप्लीकेशन
Which is very good. Which is the only good thing.
They are doing it in a wrong way. Like we used to get a salary, but people are there who are मतलब सब लोग और cheaper मतलब पैसे में करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. So like for example, if I work as ACA, there's supposed to be industry standard value. But now there are people who are doing ACS thing in a lower price.
Because they have never done ACH. The only people who do it
My
are people.
point is this: because of that, people are hiring them. They're not hiring us.
They will not hire you.
That's the problem.
But they'll hire the technician को फायदा होगा। और जब तक ये चलेगा,
Technicians also ना sir, it will.
नहीं जो 50,000 रुपये मांगेगा उसको नहीं मिलेगा। जैसे जो फिल्म के डीओपी होते हैं उनको टीवी में काम नहीं करने मिलता है, बिकॉज वो लोग बहुत पैसा मांगते हैं। एड के डीओपी होते हैं उनको टीवी में नहीं मिलता है। अब टीवी के डीओपी को माइक्रो में करना होगा तो माइक्रो के रेट पे जाना पड़ेगा।
So that is what.
तभी हम पॉडकास्ट कर रहे हैं, वी कैन नॉट पे पीपल एज मच एज टीवी, सो पॉडकास्ट में वी आर पेइंग लेस। बट पॉडकास्ट वी आर डूइंग नॉट थिंकिंग कि ये मतलब टुमारो इज गोइंग टू मेक शिट टन ऑफ मनी। वी आर डूइंग दिस पॉडकास्ट बिकॉज वी बिलीव कि ऐसा कंटेंट बनना चाहिए, तो हम बना रहे हैं। दैट्स अ डिफरेंट इकोनॉमिक्स। बट जो आदमी सोच रहा है इसमें से पैसे बनाने वाला हूँ, नहीं होने वाला है। 2-3 साल तक टेक्नीशियंस कमाएंगे, कैमरामैन मिलेगा, अर्न, व्हाट इज योर प्रॉब्लम? लेट देम अर्न। एक्टर्स जिसको काम नहीं मिलता था उसको काम मिलेगा।
See, I can
Enjoy it for some time.
I understand if you're saying
Editors.
those creatives are then
काम भी मिल रहा है एडिटर्स को, बहुत काम मिल रहा है,
hired in TV.
दबा के काम मिल रहा है।
Then I can understand if that's that, but I don't know if that will happen.
40
I can't imagine that would happen.
You know how much money has
But
been
you
raised
never
by
know.
people? More than $46 million have been invested in microdrama companies. Most of them are based in Bangalore. They're not even in Bombay. And they're all LinkedIn पे नाच रहे कि entertainment का center मुंबई से हट के बैंगलोर चला जाएगा। Really? तुम साला वहाँ हिंदी बोलने नहीं देते हो लोगों को और entertainment का center बैंगलोर चला जाएगा? Just imagine which world they're living in. Because जब आदमी को पैसा डॉलर में पैसा इन्वेस्टमेंट मिल जाता है तो आदमी कुछ भी बोलने लगता है। यहाँ से लोग मीटिंग के लिए बैंगलोर जा रहे हैं प्लेन पकड़ के, जितना पैसा माइक्रो ड्रामा में नहीं खर्च कर उससे ज़्यादा मीटिंग में जाने के लिए खर्च कर रहे हैं। LinkedIn has become like a comedy show. You should see all these people by gloating, putting nice posters of their micro drama as if it's a film. Micro drama का poster, what's the essence of it?
अब हमारा जो पॉडकास्ट है उसको भी हम
वर्टिकल ट्राई किया था ना लास्ट टाइम, शूट किया था हमने इस पे वर्टिकल में, कोई पॉइंट ही नहीं हुआ। ये पॉकेट फिल्म जिसके साथ हम करने वाले थे, who had wanted ना दिस एंड जय हिंद also, They returned it. They said हमको ये content समझ में नहीं आता है. We don't know what this is. हम तो micro drama करेंगे. So they are doing micro drama and burning money in micro drama. Then he wrote. Then the guy who runs Pocket Films wrote a big LinkedIn post saying, I hope like television and films, ये भी medium को existing professionals hijack ना कर ले. He wrote a post like this.
What?
Yeah. He does not want professionals in this. He wants amateurs. He is afraid of professionals coming into this business. They'll hijack it. जो established writers है, actors है, वो इसमें ना आ जाए. ना आ जाए? कौन आने चाहिए फिर? निनकम्पूप्स. तो बनाओ. निनकम्पूप्स छाए हुए हैं. बना रहे 100 माइक्रो ड्रामा बना लिया है. उस दिन ध्रुव का फोन आया था. ध्रुव was saying, सर आप भी बनाइए माइक्रो ड्रामा. बहुत ऑफर्स है बनाने के लिए.
In fact, this is what I before we actually started this, I was saying that one thing that constantly bothers me is that everything, any audio visual programming per se that is being done is being put under this head of content, right? And I feel it kind of minimizes the entire effort so much, because somebody creating a selfie video is also content today. And somebody creating a Janani is also content today. So it's ridiculous that you are
I know it's offensive, but I don't mind per se. मेरे को इतना बुरा नहीं लगता है. I am okay to be called content. I am okay. But I am like content में differentiation है. जो आदमी अपना selfie डाल रहा है, वो we call it user generated content. तो उस user generated content is not professional content. Professional जब user generated के level पे उतरना चाहता है, तो मेरे को वो problem है. भाई देखो टेक्स्ट बुक भी कंटेंट है और कोई आदमी बहुत ही सोफिस्टिकेटेड नॉन फिक्शन की बुक लिखता है. बोथ आर इंफॉर्मेशन. टेक्स्ट बुक इज ऑल्सो इंफॉर्मेटिव एंड हाई क्वालिटी नॉन फिक्शन बुक इज ऑल्सो इंफॉर्मेटिव. दोनों का लेवल सेम है क्या? टेक्स्ट बुक है यार. टेक्स्ट बुक का मतलब ये है कि इट्स ऑलरेडी टू मच नोन इन्फॉर्मेशन. देयर इज नथिंग न्यू इन इट. इट्स बीन नोन फॉर 50 ईयर्स. वैसी चीजें टेक्स्ट बुक में होती है. पर जो चीज आप नॉन फिक्शन के नए, लेट्स से समझो व्हेन ब्लिंक फर्स्ट केम, ब्लिंक करके एक बुक आई थी जिसमें उसने पूरा रिसर्च करके अपनी एनालिसिस दी थी कि कोई भी इंसान किसी भी चीज़ के बारे में फर्स्ट 30 सेकंड में डिसाइड कर लेते हैं मेरे को अच्छा लगा या बुरा लगा. बाद में जस्टिफाई करता है, बाद में अपने दिमाग में रैशनलाइज करता है कि क्यों, बट उसने ऐसे ही डिसाइड कर लिया होता है उसका, डिपेंडिंग ऑन ऑल दैट इज देयर इन हिज हेड ऑलरेडी. On that basis, just 30 seconds, within 30 seconds, he comes to a decision about, he's made up his mind already. Doesn't give a fuck. He'll tell you a lot of things बाद में, explanation. But होता यही है. और उसने पूरी बुक लिखी, उसमें अपना रिसर्च बताया, हाइपोथेसिस बताया, सब बताया. It's a brilliant book. You may agree, may not agree. Brilliantly written. Now you cannot find that in a textbook, right? तो वो भी content है, वो भी information है. Now information बोलना, you can say it's an insult to him. But
no, I'm not saying.
No, I'm saying
I'm saying what happens is it is a little bit of compartmentalization. What it does is it pre-informs the audience of what it means, what it entails. But if the moment you call everything, put everything under the same basket.
See, people don't consume as content. People, ये इंडस्ट्री का पार्लेंस है, हमारे अंदर का, मतलब बिजनेस साइड में ऐसे बात करते हैं. People don't look at anything as content. People look at films. People look at a micro drama. People will look at a song. People don't look at anything as content. People are not thinking मैं आज content consume करने बैठने वाला हूँ. ऐसे नहीं सोचते.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
formats.
But I'm saying if you say even within the industry, right? The moment.
अरे यार बिजनेस लोगों को चाहिए ना, बिजनेस वालों को टर्म्स चाहिए यार.
नहीं, but the
jargon चाहिए.
नहीं, but the moment that happens, it was an interesting conversation. Suddenly, you are being compared to that. In business, then you are being compared to.
They will. They will, because they are business people. Who is comparing that? That the people who do everything as a business. See, the main question you are asking is art versus business. What is art and what is business, and where does art? How does art fit into business? Now, what we do.
So therefore, I am saying that this word content, in terms of becoming a basket word, is actually not coming from the
artist.
From the artist, it's coming from the business.
Absolutely.
So therefore, I mean, one way of saying it is that, yes, by keeping it as a commonality of a word, you're democratizing the whole thing, wherein somebody who's an individual making it is also content, and say Yashraj is making it is also content.
Correct.
But so it's great. I'm saying from that parlance it's okay. But unfortunately, that's not how it's being used. I'm saying it's being used by a certain kind of
Used by who? People.
I'm saying, say
Audience.
I'm saying, say the business owners or the people who are owning the owning or running the channels or the OTTs in this case. The moment they, with the money, are trying to compare you to say somebody doing a little dance video at home, creating, and
No,
therefore you are looking at say, अच्छा इसके इतने views आए, तुम्हारे इतने
Correct.
views आए. Now it's a
No,
it's a
that
case.
is
You're comparing incomparables. I'm saying.
It's a wave, and till people burn a lot of money, they're not going to learn. So आज, I mean, you're seeing this all the time. अभी आज ही LinkedIn पे ये भी था, बहुत अच्छा. Some idiot who thinks like this put up a large post about Saturday Night Live. You remember Saturday Night Live? It's one of the longest running comedy shows in the world. See, Saturday Night Live has no future because $4 million में एक एपिसोड बनता है और उतने का तो और उसके व्यूज़ टोटल 8 मिलियन व्यूज़ आते हैं सैटरडे नाइट लाइव के. तो और उतना तो टिकटॉक का एक आदमी यूएस में 8 मिलियन व्यूज़ उसके एक छोटे से वीडियो पे आ जाता है. सो दैट्स वाई दिस ईयर सैटरडे नाइट लाइव हैज़ बीन फोर्स्ड टू टेक फायर इट्स नॉर्मल क्रू एंड टेक ऑल टिकटॉक स्टार्स इन सैटरडे नाइट लाइव. So, which has happened? All TikTok stars are now doing Saturday Night Live. Okay, ये लिखा. So basically, unless a creative person has proved himself on social media, उसका कुछ अब future नहीं है. They will learn very soon कि it will not work. That's उसके नीचे किसी ने अच्छा post लिखा. And this is a guy who always defends Hollywood from social media people. He said कि you cannot compare that TikTok video 8 million. 8 million views of Saturday Night Live are worth this much and 8 million views of a TikTok video is worth only this much. Advertiser does not pay that value to the TikTok video because it is a TikTok video. So quality has, everybody pays for quality in the end. It is not true. The business owner in India is pretending that to reduce our costs. Artist का cost कम करने के लिए. सबको पता है कि उस वीडियो का कुछ भी नहीं बन रहे पैसे. People are making it look like the influencers are making a lot of money so that artists are becoming desperate. That is the game that the content owners are playing in India. Outside it is not true. You think Julia Roberts cares what her Instagram following is? She doesn't give a shit. Okay. So TikTok का views को count करके कोई फायदा नहीं है. उसके कोई पैसे बनने वाले नहीं है. प्रिटेंड करना पड़ता है. इन्फ्लुएंसर को बहुत प्रिटेंड करना पड़ता है. वही बोलते हैं ना, इन्फ्लुएंसर एयरपोर्ट जाता है तो कपड़े ऐसे पहन के जाता है, उसका भी डालता है. जो एक्चुअल स्टार होते हैं इधर गिव शिट हाउ ही गोस टू द एयरपोर्ट.
तो आपका ये मानना है कि वर्टिकल्स की वजह से हमारा काम अभी खतरे में नहीं है?
नहीं, आपको वर्टिकल करना पड़ सकता है, दैट इज डिफरेंट. बट आई एम सेइंग आपको एक्टिंग नहीं करनी पड़ेगी वर्टिकल में. आपको जाके खड़े हो जाना है, मुंह हिलाना है और आ जाना है.
मेरे पास एक्चुअली देयर समबडी केम टू मी एंड ही इज लाइक आप करना चाहेंगे?
सबके पास है, ऐसा कोई नहीं होगा जिसके पास वर्टिकल वाले नहीं आए होंगे.
मैंने कहा आई एम नॉट श्योर यार, पता नहीं क्या है क्या नहीं. आप टेंशन मत लीजिए, आपके बगल में एक इंसान खड़ा होगा स्क्रिप्ट के साथ, आपको पढ़ना भी नहीं पड़ेगा. मैंने कहा मुझे स्क्रिप्ट नहीं पढ़नी पड़, मैं एक्टर हूँ. कहते नहीं सर, हम बोलते जाएंगे आप बोलते जाना, हम बोलते जाएंगे आप बोलते जाना.
भाई ऐसा हुआ है ना, जननी में मैंने नहीं किया है हमारे दादी के साथ. दादी was like that only. I had to do like that. There was no way to get दादी to act otherwise. दादी को एक लाइन याद नहीं होती थी.
But I was like अरे ये क्या था.
तो
चलो ठीक है, मतलब मेरा काम अभी तक खतरे में नहीं है.
काम बढ़ेगा आपका.
बढ़ेगा. अच्छा चलिए.
You will have to reduce your price per day, but you will get volume. If you want work, you will be never out of work now for the next 3 months.
I'll grow vertical.
But I don't know how fast it will die. My point is, my worry is this. Some people will get used to this vertical का work and they'll start getting comfortable. They'll plan EMIs कर लेंगे, loan ले लेंगे.
But her fear is that will it damage what exists?
For a while, it will damage.
Okay, it might disrupt.
It will damage. I think vertical से ज़्यादा damage हमारे business को अभी वो gaming app ban होने से हुआ है. Gaming app ban होने से हमारे business में तहलका आया हुआ है इस वक्त. ये जो ban कर दिया सरकार ने, we are all losing money because of that. Because they're going to, it's going to cut the number of shows that are going to be done. It's going to cut the number of OTT shows.
Because they were
Everything will be cut except micro drama.
They were the advertisers.
Yes. So everybody is in shock. The channel executives are about to commit suicide. They are feeling so threatened right now. So it's a big problem. So micro drama is not our problem. Our problem is this gaming app ban. 27-28 हज़ार करोड़ रुपए गायब हो गए, तो वो कहाँ से आएंगे? कौन देगा वो पैसे? अभी दिवाली का सीजन आ रहा है. दिस इज व्हेन दे मेक मनी. चैनल्स मेक मनी. अब एडवर्टाइजर ही गायब हो गया, आपका मेन एडवर्टाइजर गायब हो गया, तो बहुत काम कम हो जाने वाला है. तो लोग पीपल विल बी फोर्स्ड टू डू माइक्रो ड्रामास. That's it's come at the right inflection point. But it will also mean that microdrama people will aggressively make more microdrama. So which means they'll find out even faster that it doesn't make money. Because वो advertiser जो टीवी से गायब होता है microdrama से भी गायब हो गया ना. मतलब in the end market से तो गायब हो गया ना वो. तो how will you make the money? Who is going to advertise is the problem. Subscription आएगी नहीं. शुरू में आ जाएंगे. एक बार 1 महीने के लिए कोई लेगा 35 रुपये दे के, आई डोंट नो कितने का बेच रहे, 2 रुपया 5 रुपया कितने में बेच रहे, 35 रुपये से भी कम होगा. 35 रुपये एक बार आ भी गए तो अगले महीने नहीं आएगा. कितना देखोगे माइक्रो ड्रामा तुम? देयर आर टाइटल्स लाइक मेरी दूसरी बीवी, मेरा तीसरा फ्रेंड, मेरा चौथा जॉब, इस तरह का क्या है ये? मतलब हाउ लॉन्ग कैन यू वॉच दिस?
I have to never watched it, but I mean,
इट इज डिफिकल्ट.
I'm just hoping people watch us.
बट देखो इतनी सारी चीजें, उल्लू बैन हो गया, अब लोगों के पास काम नहीं है, उल्लू बैन हो गया, अब क्या करें?
हमें देखो, हमारे नाम में भी सेक्स है. सेक्स.
हाँ देखो उल्लू बैन हो गया तो, लेकिन उल्लू तो नहीं बैन हुए ना.
नहीं वो तो है.
हाँ तो वो बना रहे माइक्रो ड्रामा.
Yeah, love the clarity of thought, the whole thing. You were saying that the grammar, I've not heard that term before, it doesn't have a grammar.
Which?
The micro dramas, and they would worthy of it hasn't developed one as yet.
No, it hasn't, and actually good you raised that last point I'll make. My problem with micro drama is only simple. Like half of it I said कि मतलब sports are vertical नहीं देखते हो, film are vertical. Our eyes, all visual media tries to imitate our eyes. Okay, so our eyes see things like this, which is the main reason. पहले आप अगर देखोगे तो 4:3 TV होते थे. They were more vertical than now, right? You have seen the TV evolve into this. Why? If people loved 4:3, फिल्म भी पहले 4:3 होते थे, फिर वो सिनेमास्कोप हो गए. क्यों हुए? अगर वो इतना पॉपुलर था तो क्यों नहीं फैल गया? People like to see like this because हमारा विजन ऐसे है. Our vision goes like this. Our vision doesn't go like this. हमको मुंडी ऐसी करनी पड़ेगी. We cannot, our eyes don't see like that. So why would we watch vertical? It doesn't, you know, the phones are rectangular because it is trying to imitate the film screen. Otherwise they would have remained square. It became elongated like this. People have forgotten the main reason. I mean, go and ask Nokia why they made rectangle screens to become 16:9. You know, my first show that I made for digital, and that was the first digital show in India called Jai Hind. We first shot 4:3 and I realized कि अरे phone को पूरा भरता नहीं है वो. तो then I became the first 16:9 show in India. We started shooting on this thing, क्या बोलते हैं, high definition HD, just to get 16:9. So I have gone through this entire thing in the reverse. People told me I want the full screen, full width. Now you are reducing that width. How dumb is that? It makes no sense. So वो wrong. सबसे बड़ा reason it will flop is that. That like 3D flopped because you had to wear a glass. Nobody wants to wear. Now you already wear a glass. How are you going to ever watch 3D? तो घर पे कोई पहनेगा तो 3D टीवी कैसे चलेगा? घर पे चश्मे के ऊपर एक चश्मा पहन के मैं देखूंगा. मतलब it's not possible. People were dreaming this, and I have gone through. You guys may not have gone through this. I have gone into conference after conference just 13-14 years back, where everybody was saying AR, VR, and 3D. यही future है. And I'm sitting in speech after speech, and people are saying 3D TV will obliterate all other TVs. And I'm thinking, how? 3D films never worked. फिल्म में जाके भी लोग चश्मा पहन के देखना नहीं पसंद करते. IMAX, इतना IMAX पेडल किया. So many filmmakers have endorsed IMAX, great IMAX. Have people responded to that and people said हमको IMAX में ही देखना है फिल्म में? बस कौन ऐसे बैठ के पूरा what is that? You can watch one film, one event. You can watch one film like that in like 1 year. But every film like that ऐसा पूरा लीन करके ऐसे करके यार नहीं होता ना. मतलब certain things are correct and certain things are wrong.
उनको हमें पैसे देने पड़ेंगे.
किसको?
उनको हमें पैसे देने।
हाँ, फिर हो सकता है, बट फिर भी मेरे को लगता है एंटरटेनमेंट में वो भी नहीं होता है। एक पॉइंट के बाद पैसे देने में भी लोग नहीं जाते, बोलते यार पागल समझा क्या, सीधा सीधा ऐसे ही बोलते हैं ना, पागल समझा क्या। क्रिकेट मैच नहीं देखेंगे लोग अगर खराब होगा तो। ले जाओ आप जिम्बाब्वे इंडिया का मैच देखने के लिए और बोलो कि यार लो पैसे आ जाओ, नहीं जाएगा आदमी, बोलेगा यार नहीं यार 3-4 घंटे नहीं बैठ सकता, 15 मिनट देख के आ जाऊंगा।
Do you see the way films will films adapt themselves so that they're more likely to be clipped and you extract microdramas from regular movies? So movies change.
That's happening. There are dedicated people doing that.
Okay.
Who are cutting films and ruining them and making. They are even changing the endings. AI. They are going to use AI to change endings of films. They are going to give you different while watching the film on the fly. No, this is going to happen. They will. All this will be experimented upon. Like you're watching the film, and say 15 minutes into the film, they will realize by looking at, because you've got a camera on your phone, they are realizing how you're reacting to it. The AI will start changing the thing, generate something else on the fly. So most of it we have actually shot, say the creative professional has shot, but there are other things that the AI will generate to supplement it, to keep you hooked. They will try this. I'm not saying this is going to be successful. I'm saying the business people behind our business, they are going to try this because they will think that the AI will be smarter than the actual writers and the directors, and on the fly it will create something which will hook the person more than what we have spent 8-9 months thinking. So that is going to happen because people are going to har hathkanda, business wale har hathkanda use karte na. Business is like that.
Is this more prevalent in India, say, than
Microdrama?
No, I'm saying this whole idea of trusting the business sense over the creative sense.
No, everywhere it is there, but everywhere people, as I said, people have in the West, much that you don't like the scientific temper of the West so much.
No, I'm not dislike. I'm saying
The good thing about that is
value to this also.
They have a good thing that they try to objectively see what actually makes money, and they quickly give up something that doesn't actually make money, because the business guy also there is trying to see this, does it really make money or not. In India, that is not true. If that was true, people will not be paying Akshay Kumar 100 crores and making 80 crores out of it. Nobody pays Tom Cruise shit ton of money in Hollywood and watches film after film flop. There are no flop Tom Cruise films. You pay him money because you don't want a flop. Otherwise you won't be paying. In India में सिर्फ होता है कि stars are taking money and they are not delivering hits. Have you seen any other market do that? Korea में चले जाओ, कहीं भी चले जाओ. Korea is a bigger market than India, by the way. They make more $1 billion of films than we do. So why do we have that? India में ये possible है. Business people doing things which have no particular sense.
And Korean industry has actually got to a place in a very short period of time. Actually.
In less than 30 years.
That's incredible.
Less than 30 years. So हमारे यहाँ ये business sense नहीं.
हमें कुछ करना पड़ेगा.
हमें funds लाने पड़ेंगे और खुद business करना पड़ेगा. Because हमारे businessman नहीं करने वाले. वही कोशिश है. उसी में लगे.
हमें ही कुछ करना पड़ेगा.
Which business are you from?
Hardware startup. Hardware startup. Losing money. Yeah.
So hardware startup, you know about this guy Prakash Dadlani?
I'm sorry, I'm a little clueless, but in general.
So he is very big on Twitter. Okay. He is one of the people promoting hardware startups.
Wonderful.
He has a very basic startup, but he has got like mixers and juicers.
But still,
I know.
Making money is and not losing money is amazing. Yeah.
He is growing fast. He is trying to replace all the Chinese mixers and juicers that are in India by making everything here. Every part of it made in India, nothing imported. So he started out by importing parts from there. Now replacing each part. He wants the entire mixer juicer ecosystem to be totally independent of China. So he's getting there. So once he does that, he said, I'll move on to the next one. ऐसे करके एक करके we'll just replace all parts. Take the easiest. I took the easiest. He said, this looked the easiest, so I took this.
It's not easy. A juicer is not easy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's what I don't know. Which one are you doing?
So we're still in the R&D phase. It's a non-invasive BCI.
Non-invasive?
A brain-computer interface. So one.
Wow, that's a
like electronic.
Advanced
braille,
stuff.
Electronic braille would be one basic thing.
Wow. So like neural link type.
Without surgery.
Without-
Neuralink without surgery. That's exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And it doesn't work right now. So it's just.
Oh, so that is not just, so you are not just doing hardware, it's like high-tech hardware. It's a high-tech.
At some point, call it quits and say it's a bad idea. That's a mature thing to do. I agree that we keep throwing good money after bad. I don't know when to call it quits. We may be there.
No, that's a good thing, because if everybody in India calls it quits very fast. Nobody really tries to do anything hard. That's another thing in our culture right now. We don't try to do what is hard. Like micro dramas everyone is doing. One of the main reasons is flying so much. It's so easy to do. It doesn't cost much money. It's so fast to do. You don't really need to do it well. You can act badly. You can write badly. It's like no need to do your best. And that we run after. We run after doing something that is very easy.
So we applaud you for what you're doing.
Fantastic. Really good to know.
Thank you.
Really, really fantastic to know. That
And
should
with that
be-
applause
Yes.
for FSEX also.
Yeah, we are trying to do something very hard too.
Yeah. Number 7
Look
comes-
how hard it was to get people to here today.